momentum because we've gotten a big stop and then driven it down the field and we score right there. I think it's a different ball game.
Yeah, it definitely is. And you talked a little bit about penalties as well. And of course, we had some very untimely procedure penalties, delay of game penalties that really hurt. And those are some things I know that as a coach, you take whole ownership. Holding calls, things like that, personal fouls, sometimes you can't control what a kid's going to do in those situations. But when it comes to procedure penalties, delay of game penalties, I know as a coach that's something you take full ownership.
Absolutely.
And say that's something that we've got to fix. And I know you've had 2 weeks. Do you feel like, I'm not going to ask you, is it fixed? But do you feel like you've really made a lot of strides in that?
It better be fixed. It's just little things that we're doing. Again, I take complete ownership of it. And the reason we got those is because of some things I had not noticed we were doing in practice. I went back and watched practice film from the previous weeks, and we were doing it. I mean, we were not staying in the right place between plays. Our kids weren't, and it was costing us time. And we're an offense that's built around calling plays based on alignment, defensive alignment, where they're lined up right now. We're not necessarily, it's not, football's changed from standpoints. You can't count on calling a play based on how they lined up or what they did the previous play. They're defensive coordinators are really smart guys. I hate to give any of them credit, but they're going to change. They're going to change what they're doing because they know that if they just continue to do the same thing over and over, people are going to have an answer. So we're calling plays based on where they're at right now, what blitz we think we're getting, what coverage we think we're getting, and it requires our kids to get in a stationary position and make those guys declare. So we can put them in a position, and we're not doing that. And like I said, we spent a lot of time trying to get that fixed.
Coach, I know a lot of times, and this is just from a fan perspective and announcer's perspective, but we look at that and we see a play call, and they'll set, and then they'll look back to the sidelines, obviously, and you'll make a slight adjustment or whatever once you see that defense set. Is there some plays in your book that says we go to the count, we go to the line, and while they're shifting their defenses, we're making a quick snap, and we're going to run before they're ready? And just hope we call the right one.
Could be.
Good answer. Good answer. Coach, let's talk a little bit about this Brandon team. We look at it, they're 2-2 on the season. They started off with a loss to Madison Central, a big game, of course, a region game for us coming up in a few weeks. Then they beat South Panola and beat them handily at home, their first game in their new facility. Then they beat Clinton, and then they lose their game this past week. This is a team, though, that's a lot better than their 2-2 record would tell you. They're a lot better than their stats when you look at it would tell you, because they've played 4 really tough opponents.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody, their first 5 opponents been ranked, in the for whatever it's worth, Clarion Ledger Super 10.
Right.
So, very tough schedule. And, I think both of us will be tested tonight. I think it's 2 good football teams. I think we're built a little bit differently, but I think we're, as evenly matched as it can be. I wish I was a spectator who could sit up in the stands and just kind of watch it, because this game has truly turned into what it should be, and that is a true rivalry. I think for a long time it was not, but the last 2 years it's been. It may have been the same score the last couple of years. Well, no, last year I guess we went to overtime last year, but anyway, it's been a very close game the last 2 years, and I expect nothing different this year.
Coach, you've had an off week, and there's different philosophies on having an open date. I know you and I talked about it 2.5 years ago, your first season here, and you said, when I get the chance, we're going to put an off date in the schedule. You're coming off that off date now. Is having this off date to have 2 weeks, one maybe a week of healing, a week of recovery, but 2 weeks in essence preparing for Brandon, how has that affected your team practice-wise? Have you done much any different? Or has it still been pretty much routine?
Well, no, the first week, your off week, we spent every day focusing on us. I mean, it was we were back to told our coaches we want to go back to fundamentals, and really spend a lot of time cleaning up things that we've kind of maybe gotten relaxed on, like the procedure things, the delay of games, some things that we were doing that was costing us.
Good evening and welcome to the High School Football Network Blue Zone. Another week of high school football around the state of Mississippi. Jeremy Kennedy with you. So glad to have you along. And as always, we're going to check in and peek in from top games around the state of Mississippi. A big-time slate tonight. You just heard Toby Collins visiting with the Northwest Rankin Broadcasting crew. We're going to have a little bit of that ball game tonight as well. A huge matchup with the Brandon Bulldogs for the Cougars. The biggest game tonight, though, the number 1 team in the state, the Pearl Pirates, will be taking on the number 4 Madison Central Jaguars. We're going to also check in on the Meridian Wildcats and the Starkville Jackets, as well as a lot of other games on. As always, you can toggle through the app, watch all those games in its entirety, or you can spin it with us on the HSFN Blue Zone. Right now, we'll take you to the pregame show with Madison Central and Coach Anthony Hart.
Football Network, mcbigblue.com. Super Talk Mississippi 97.3.
Dedication is what makes a good team a great team. And dedication is how we've become the #1 Ford dealer in Mississippi. Watson Quality Ford. We're dedicated to our customers, our community.
As an offensive staff, and you know, we're just like any other coach. We feel like we can coach them out of, you know, a slump or whatever. And we sat down and really figured out that our best bet is to, instead of think plays, you think players,
right,
you know, throughout the course of a game, okay? Here are the ways.
Madison Central heads to a commercial break in their pregame show. We'll get you back to our visit with Toby Collins from Northwest Rankin. We'll send you back to Madison Central when they come back to break. For now, enjoy the pregame show at Northwest Rankin with Toby Collins.
You know, those guys are good with the ball in their hands, so just put it in their hands, let them go make a play.
Final question. We're coming off an open date. Had plenty of weeks, plenty of time to heal up. How are we health-wise?
Oh, we're great. Yeah, we're great. You know, we've got a few bumps and bruises still that we're kind of recovering from, but the off week has been good for us.
Good deal. Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck in the game tonight. Hopefully we'll be talking to you post-game after a W on the scoreboard against Brandon.
I sure hope so.
That's Coach Toby Collins. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Jay Fletcher will join me once again, and we'll break down the game from a broadcaster perspective. There's tonight's game with the Northwest Rankin Cougars taking on the Brandon Bulldogs. Back in a moment on Cougar Broadcasting.
Welcome back to the Coach Anthony Hart Show here on the Madison Central Football Network, mcbigblue.com and Super Talk Mississippi 97.3. Still a little bit more about the D'Iberville game, Coach. 27-21 victory, 3-0. Special teams, we talked about offense, we talked about defense. Special teams shine well for Madison Central 2 Friday nights ago.
You got our first block punt. You know, we work on that a lot, and Coach Davis does a great job with that punt block team and got the block punt to set up the first touchdown. That's big. It's big. You know, I thought last year we got 3 victories, maybe because of block punts, and that was our first one. And I think it gives the kids confidence, makes them hungry. They love doing that, and you know, just a lot of enthusiasm with that unit.
Kicking team still playing pretty solid, which is, and you look on the college level, you're not seeing that much on the college level. You're seeing some mistakes being made. It's a tough part for the kickers, and I've always said that because there's so much on stage by themselves at that point. But so far, so good. Payzak and Nation both doing very consistently on special teams for Madison Central.
Yeah, you know, Payzak coming in, John Mark, we weren't really sure what we'd get out of him, but boy, he's had a great year where he just needs to continue to punt the football like he has. And again, you know, we spend a lot of time on special teams. Coach Livingston and Coach Davis are our primary guys schematically on our special teams, and you know, I just can't sing their praises enough for what they do.
Coach, bye week, I know. Probably probably not what you wanted, but you got it no matter what happened. How did it go? Were you able to do some different things? Were you able to put in anything new, or did we just stick with the same routine and kind of do the things that we've been doing to get us where we are here to 3-0?
Close to the same routine, but I think it kind of gave our kids a breath of fresh air, got them a little hungry again. Coaches too, and I think that we needed it. We needed it at that time, and I think to get us ready to go for this second half of the season.
Coach, we're going to talk a lot about Pearl when we return. Obviously, another undefeated team and a team that is a lot of talk about this ball game. We'll do that when we return here on the Coach Anthony Hart Show on the Madison Central Football Network, mcbigblue.com, Super Talk Mississippi 97.3.
We got Brandon. We're one game away from beginning our region schedule. Coach Collins talked about having the open date. He's wanted the open date since he got here. He's able to get it. He's 1 week off of where he would like to have it. He made that comment. He would love to have it this week prior to going into region play next week against Warren Central. But nonetheless, he said he's never had an open date that it wasn't at the right time. And I think coming off an emotional loss and a big game loss with an atmosphere like we saw 2 weeks ago at Pearl, this was a great time to have a week to get that taste out of your mouth, so to speak, to work on yourself, to work on the fundamentals as he talked about, and to prepare for a big game tonight.
I like the off week here. We debated a little bit when we were finishing things off there in Pearl and signing off whether it's better to have it after this game. But I think it fell at a good time because there were a lot of mistakes that were made in the Pearl game. There were a lot of mental things that went on. You lose to your crosstown rival. I think it fell at a very, very good time. They heal the bumps and bruises, heal the hearts and the attitudes and the minds a little bit, and now they're in and set and ready for the middle and back end of the season.
You and I talked about in our postgame after the Pearl game, as Coach talked about in my postgame interview with him, was a list of things that he's seen during that game that he wanted to work on. You've heard Coach talk about some of that. Are you satisfied with what you've heard, Coach, that the things that they that didn't work well against Pearl 2 weeks ago have been, if not fixed, at least addressed?
Yeah, I mean, I'm giving 2 thumbs up on that because I feel like I know this coaching staff and they pay so much attention to detail.
Right.
I even heard him say where he's talking about he even went back and watched how they practice. That's a coach that takes care of details. So my guess is they've worked through all of that. They've had some great conversations with kids, and we talked about 16, 17-year-old kids. Mentally, they're all over the map anyway. But then you get, this kind of a situation going on. And I know they've spent some time encouraging these kids and helping these kids deal with that loss. But just fixing some of the just silly mistakes, the penalties, the little turnovers that really matter. You got one more game, and that's tonight, to work through all of those details because the real season starts next week.
Exactly right. And Jay, one of the things we've talked about all season are the big playmakers for this Northwest Rankin team. Of course, Cameron Carroll got over 100 yards last week. He got 130 some odd yards, or 2 weeks ago. Cameron now in the season had 539 yards on 57 carries, averaging almost 10 yards a game. But the two guys that we really haven't seen step up offensively like we think, and even on special teams, Jarian Jones and D. Baker, two big playmakers that coaches acknowledge that we got to get the ball in those guys' hands.
And the pressure's on the coaches. Pressure's not on the kids. Kids will perform. They're drilled to perform. So it sounds to me like they've had some offensive staff meetings where they've just kind of tried to sit around in the room and figure out all the different puzzle pieces and what they're going to do with that. So the kids don't need to feel the pressure. The kids need to feel the fact that the coaches are working really hard to get me the football. When I get the football, my training takes over and I just begin to do my thing. So the kids ought to just sit back, relax, and wait on the football. But what a luxury of riches. If you're a coach, you just have to sit back and just, before you ever start moving the puzzle pieces around, is you're just thankful for all the opportunities. Most teams have one guy.
Right.
There are 3 guys at least. Sometimes if you go even 4, it's 4 or 5 guys.
You can always add Montel Gladney, who's had trouble catching the ball this year, but we know what he's capable of doing when he gets that figured out. We got a Carson Banks that's your possession receiver, I like to call him. He's a guy that every big school NFL team has, that little guy. He's not going to be the fastest. He's not going to be the biggest or the strongest, but he's a guy that a quarterback knows if everybody else is covered, I can check down. I'll find Carson, and I get it somewhere close to him. He's going to catch it, and it's going to be a possession, and he's going to move the chains.
Right.
And we've got that kind of guy. So you got a lot there. Defense has been outstanding. They're going to go up against a Brandon team that likes to throw the ball. They like to air it out. They like to spread it out. They want to get you to the corners and then think they can beat you from there. Talk a little bit about what we're going to have to do against this Brandon team. A quarterback that's thrown for over 600 yards, 65% completion rate, so he's a solid quarterback. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes.
He's a sophomore, though.
Exactly.
We've dealt a little bit with that sophomore with Philip Short. So I think the key early is to get some pressure in his face. I think they need to hit him a few times and let him know from a defensive standpoint that, hey, we're here. We're going to pound on you a little bit. We're not going to let you sit back there and just relax and throw the football. What they want to do, they want to try to get the ball to the edges and get wide receivers out in front and block on that. And then about the time you start taking a look at that and getting ready to defend that, they're going to look to go over the top on you. And they have been successful doing that. Running the football, not so much. They have not done a ton there. Javarius Spann, he's a big guy, 6'2", 205. He only has 30 carries, 191 yards, a couple of touchdowns. But what they're looking to do, they're going to use their passing game.
One of the things, of course, the first thing that comes to my mind when you say that, our corners have been really good this year anyway. They're going to have to step it up, but it's going to be the key to the safety because he's got to watch that over the top, being able to come in behind that corner. If the guy does do the stop and go, it's going to depend on that safety to come in over the top.
And that's discipline. That's coaching. That's reps back there. That's film study. Because he's got to know they're going to attempt to. They're going to bait me. They're going to try to get my eyes looking in the backfield. They're going to try to get me stepping up, and then they're going to go right over the top of me. So it's discipline there.
And, one of the things I think coaches realize that for sure. We heard Coach Collins talk about it off camera, and I would mention it now, that they put Jarian Jones on the scout team this week and let our defenders, our corners and safeties, try to cover him, who Brandon's got some decent receivers. They've got a kid named Jonathan Mingo, a kid named Bo Watley.
14, Jimmy Holiday. 16, Luke Robertson. 21, Hunter Blaylock. 7, J.D. Hull. 71, Gabe Ross. 64, Zion Crockett. 58, Martin Leineberger. 63, Jamie Upton. 50, Ben Killens. 37, Kale Nation. Tonight's defensive starters. 52, Zach Causey. 44, Tay Berry. 5, Lawson Stockett. 10, Truett Bourne. 9, Kobe Cole. 17, Peyton Gray. 1, Cam White. 6, Shakobia Luckett. 34, Cameron Moore. 4, Kirkland Trahan. 24, Kenneth Indebell. 99, John Martin Pazak.
Good evening, Cougar Country. We are out here live on Friday night as the Cougars get set to take on the Brandon Bulldogs. But pregame here, the Brandon and Northwest Rankin bands are going to come together on the field, and they're going to collaborate here as we get set for the national anthem first, and then we'll watch them perform live on the field. So.
We ask you then to please remain standing until the colors are retired.
Wait, our captains. I do know the captain, Steve Alexander, for Pearl, along with number 14 is going to be Josh. Number 14 is going to be Josh Notree. Number 21, that'll be Jalen Stovall. And number 25, it'll be Trevante Lewis. We await the Madison Central captains. And, of course, Matty Gall, our Cobbs Cleaner sideline reporter, will be helping us out here in just a few minutes to give us our captains and our toss, our referees here at the midfield. That'll be coming up as well. So we hope that you'll stay with us here throughout the pregame show. And Max, you know, there's a lot of talk, a lot of been talking about. There's no doubt about it. Pearl's #1 team in the state right now. They're undefeated. Big victory over in Louisiana. Madison Central sitting here 3-0. But boy, I tell you what, Max, this is two really good defenses, and I really believe that what it's going to come down to is which defense can keep their offense out of trouble, like bad field position, getting pinned deep. And, of course, you're going to have to control turnovers here tonight because both teams will feed off of that, as a matter of fact.
You're absolutely right, JT. I think the defenses are the units that are featured on both squads. Madison Central returns 8 off of last year's squad. So does Pearl. Pearl played, of course, in the state championship. Madison Central's played in the North State Finals. So both teams with a lot of returning players played not this past spring, but spring before, in a jamboree over at Pearl, so somewhat of familiarity there. Both teams have a lot of experience, both offensively and defensively. Madison Central with a lot of defensive speed, Pearl with a lot of offensive speed. As you said, Madison Central must play good defense, control their turnovers, and I think the special teams will play a big part in the ball game tonight.
Well, and as I said, it's a ball game that is so big, but yet really doesn't matter because district play hasn't started. But let's rephrase this. This is a game that we could see again before the year's out. That's a very good possibility. Obviously, both teams will have to have a lot of success for that to happen, but it came very close to that happening last year.
Oh, yeah. Pearl and Madison Central playing on the same Friday night for an opportunity to go to the state finals. Madison Central not successful. Pearl was. And, you know, that could happen again. You know, be deja vu all over again, JT. But these teams here tonight, you say it doesn't matter in the standings. There is a sellout crowd here in the jungle.
It's about as big as I've seen.
It's there's some folks that do care about this ball game. Both from Pearl, the stands across the way, jam-packed. Stands on the home side filling up fast. Lines of traffic still trying to file into this ballpark. The end zone, the tailgate area is just wall to wall. So what an atmosphere for a ball game here at Madison Central tonight.
Jaguars have a new combination tonight. They have the white helmets with the orange chrome paw on them, the orange jerseys with the white pants. Of course, Pearl will be in all white with the white jerseys, white pants, black numerals, and the gold helmets. And we're just about ready here. Jaguars, get our captains there. Josh Cofield, along with number 5, it's going to be Lawson Stockett. Number 9 for the Jaguars, Kobe Cole, and number 21, that's going to be Hunter Blaylock. And we're going to turn it over downfield here to Matty Gall, and we're going to hear from the referee as he addresses the players here, shaking hands. And let's go to our Cobbs Cleaners reporter right now, Matty Gall, who is at midfield.
Y'all want to introduce yourself to the captains?
Absolutely. I'm Ronnie McGee, Superintendent of Madison County Schools.
Superintendent of Pearl Schools. Come in a little closer for me real quick. Your coach has been preaching to you all year about sportsmanship. Let's make sure we keep good sportsmanship on the field and on the sideline tonight, all right? As you know, we've already had the coin toss with your coaches. Madison Central, you won the toss. You elected to defer. Make sure I got that right. Yeah. Pearl, you will be receiving the ball. Madison Central, will you be kicking from the clock? So if you would, gentlemen, turn y'all's backs to the clock. Y'all turn y'all's backs down to this goal for me.
And there you go, Matty. We defer. We're going to give them the ball first. So that's how it'll work right there. Thank you very much, Matty Gall, working the midfield for us.
Game sponsors. I'll give those to you here in just a second. Our pregame sponsor for the pregame sponsors for tonight are Young's Fashion and Oak Manor Apartment. And the coin toss is Rock House Pond. Just before we get the game, just before we get the game kicked off, we'll go to a quick 30-second station break.
Place was really full of people, a lot of stuff going on there, but definitely that off week at a good time. They had the opportunity to just spend some time doing some fundamental things this week, and they are back and ready, and I look forward to a big game from them tonight.
And I want to go on ahead while we have a minute before the game and thank a couple of sponsors before getting into it. Providing meals for the Northwest Rankin Cougar football team, Smokehouse Barbecue, so good you'll hug the cook and kiss the pig. Also, Lost Pizza of Flowood, get lost at Lost Pizza in Flowood. The pizza can't be beat, and Serrani's Italian restaurant where family, friends, and great food all come together and meet. That's all for feeding the Northwest Rankin football team. A couple more for always supporting the Northwest Rankin Cougar football, Gateway Tire and Service Center, and Newton's Fine Jewelry. And then for feeding and providing meals here for the announcers up in the press box, Corner Bakery. Thank you so much. And if you get a chance, stop by before or after a game and enjoy some great food from Corner Bakery. Down on the field, we're getting set for the coin toss. Tonight's captains for the Cougars, we got Carson Banks, Monty Williams, Cam Carroll, and Justin Johnson.
Trying to pick up the numbers for Brandon. Looked like 75, Trey Harris. 13, TJ Ficklin. I believe number 11, Bo Watley. And number 3, Dakara Shoto. Northwest Rankin won the toss, and they will defer to the second half. So Northwest Rankin will kick off to Brandon.
All right, and we're about set to go. They're about to bust through on both sides, and we ready for a football game here. It is finally starting to get to that atmosphere weather-wise here at night, getting a little cool, a little breezy, and it starts to feel like some Friday night fall football, and that is a beautiful thing. Now, we do want to mention, and you kind of mentioned this pregame, that this is the last region game of the season. They're going to go into region play starting next
Tackle made by number 40, James Brown. Ball is spotted at the 25-yard line. First down, Democrat. Flags are down on the field. Ball pass being catched against the yellow jacket.
So you hear?
Hold
on 1 second. What about now? Definitely not.
That's number 5 in rear, 1 against the ball carrier. Gain 3 yards, brings up second down, 12. Number 1, Malik Brown on the carry. Tackled down by number 97 for the Wildcats. Brings up third down and 8. Malik Brown pass all incomplete in and out of the hands of number 12, Cameron Gardner. Brings up fourth down.
Okay. So Meridian and Starkville getting things going early. Meridian with a big stop defensively. They're going to get the football back. A really critical game for both of these teams. And for Starkville, trying to protect home field. We've got a great group of games tonight. We want to send you now to the game of the night across the state of Mississippi. The Pearl Pirates and the Madison Central Jaguars. We'll be back to check in on this one and some other games in just a minute. But right now, out to Madison for that big game between number 1 and number 4.
Still in Pearl territory. Jaguars with a long way to go here on 2nd and 14. Same formation. Trip receivers left. White in the backfield. J.D. Hall looks to change the play. Now puts Cam White to his left. And now another flag. And another flag is dropped. And it's going to be illegal procedure again against the Jaguars. That's 15 yards and penalties, and Madison Central's ran one play.
Not even 1 minute off the clock here in the first quarter. Madison Central getting the ball on an onside kick, recovered at the 40-yard line. In plus territory, now in minus territory at the 47.
Second down and 18 to go. It's more than 18.
23.
23 is what they're saying now. J.D. Hall, and he wants to keep it. J.D. Hall trying to find some room off the left side. He's cut down quickly, and it'll be no gain, and it'll bring up 3rd and 23 here for Madison Central. Jaguars going backwards with penalty flags.
Ready to put themselves in the hole, had a tremendous opportunity.
10:44 to play, no score. Jaguars on their opening possession after recovering the onside kick. But 3 penalties, illegal participation and 2 illegal procedures. It's 3rd down and 23, and of course, Pearl's going to loosen up now. Got a 4 down front. Jaguars, J.D. Hall wanting to throw. He's in trouble, and will be sacked at the 40-yard line. Jaguars do nothing after the onside kick because of penalties, and will punt it away.
Well, you get yourself on a 3rd and long like that, JT. Defensive front just pins their ears back. As you said, loosens up the secondary. They backpedaling to start with, so Madison Central had an uphill battle.
Well, you came out with some big momentum, and then the penalty flags, just pre-snap penalties, absolutely took you out of that drive.
Pazak checks in to punt it away from Madison Central.
Stands on his own 25, a low snap, and now another penalty flag.
Maybe a legal procedure once again. Pearl Pirate jumped along that line of scrimmage, enticed the Jaguar to
and another move. That's 3 illegal procedure calls against the Jaguars on this drive.
20 yards in penalties incurred by Madison Central.
I don't know if we're having a lineup problem. I'm not sure what is going on here, but the Jaguars trying to punt it away.
So Madison Central about to kick it away to the Pearl Pirates. 4th and 30. Want to get you to Meridian and Starkville as we'll take a look at that one. Starkville with an early 2-0 lead. You saw that punt. First play from scrimmage for Meridian. A snap over the quarterback's head. Went all the way into the end zone for a safety. That's where we stand now. 2-0 is your score. With Starkville having the football. Meridian, a couple of guys to really keep an eye on. Jamon Gordon, defensive end, 2019. Ole Miss offered earlier this week. And then Hyman, the defensive lineman, Ole Miss commitment. So a couple of guys in this ball game that are going to be somebody to keep an eye on. The Starkville tries to move the football and take an early lead as we're not even 2 minutes into this one. The Jackets already with a 2-0 lead.
That's number 3, Reese Clark on the carry. Tackled down by number 13, Antonio Silliman, along with number 40.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Gain 6 yards, 2nd down. Number 3, Reese Clark on the carry. Tackle made by number 6, Darius Smith. Flags are down on the field. All stars being repaired against the Yellow Jackets. back up the 18-yard line, brings up first and 15 for the Jackets.
Mic check, mic. Can you hear me?
No game.
Hey, let's see.
It's a 3rd and 14.
What about now? What you got?
3rd and 14. Starfield Street.
Made by number 5 is Xavier Kirby. Ball is fighting down at the 9-yard line. Brings up 4th down. Bone goes to attempt a 25-yard field goal as the hold is moved off on it.
Starkville takes a 5-0 lead. They get a field goal off of the possession after the safety. 8 minutes, 8 seconds to go in the first quarter. Want to get you to Brandon. Northwest ranked at 8 versus 9. We just had a fumble on the play. 5-yard line, and that's where we're going to see some real big action. Northwest Rankin going on offense. So the Cougars with a big stop as Brandon was driving deep into Northwest Rankin territory. So Brandon, Northwest Rankin, no score, 7:45 to play in the first quarter. We'll get you out to this one.
Get to take the ball as the defense kind of being marched all over, but they made a big stand. Short, hands it off. Got an opening here on the near side as Carroll was really able to do some quick maneuvering there right off the bat with some big churning of those legs, and he was able to get a big gain.
We'll give you the River Trust starting lineups for the Cougar offense. The offensive line, 73, Aiden McCullough, 70, LaDerrick Caldwell, 50, Micah Lewis, 79, Cal Overton, 51, Nick Hogan. The H-back tight end, number 10, Marquise Tenner. The running back, 6'1", 221-pound senior, number 16, Cameron Carroll.
And with that first down brought to you by Bank Plus, he's going to snap back and give it to Carroll again, who is just getting hit literally from every angle, and he's still up. Going to get a couple yards here.
They give us 6 wide receivers, so we'll give you all of them. 8, Montel Gladney. 7, Jarian Jones. 3, Alvin Edney. 5, Josh Short. 23, D. Baker. 6, Carson Banks. And the sophomore quarterback, 6'1", 175, number 11, Philip Short.
Short here with 2nd and 8. 2 receivers set up. And he's going to hand that one off to number 23. That's D. Baker, who breaks free and now is finding an opening. He has no one else to beat. Into the end zone, D. Baker with a touchdown.
Wow. Some solid blocking as he went around that left side. And once he broke contain, we already know there's no one around this area going to catch him. He has incredible speed. And what an incredibly awesome start for the Northwest Rankin Cougars.
A touchdown brought to you by Anytime Fitness, and D. Baker running that one all the way. That was on the 20, I think on the 24-yard lines where they started on that one, all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. And the Cougars going to try for the point after. There's the snap and the kick. It looks good, and what a turnaround here after getting just pushed through all the way in deep in their own territory before a fumble, and then a couple plays later, D. Baker runs it into the end zone. It's 7-0. The Cougars lead the Bulldogs with 6:52 left to go in the first quarter. We'll be right back on Cougar Broadcasting.
We know you came in.
Plunge forward to about the 26-yard line. We're going to have a water timeout. We'll take a timeout with them back here on the Madison Central Football Network, mcbigblue.com and Super Talk Mississippi 97.3.
Dedication is what makes a good team a great team. And dedication is how we've become the #1 Ford dealer in Mississippi, Watson Quality Ford. We're dedicated to our customers, our community, and our locally employed staff. And just like a coach is dedicated to making his team win and give them all the thrills that comes with victory.
So a couple of those games in commercial right now. We've seen some early action, a terrific run and a great burst of speed with Northwest Rankin there as the Cougars take an early 7-0 lead. Madison Central and Pearl are going back and forth. Meridian and Starkville, it's the Jackets with a 5-0 lead. Early, remember, you can watch all these games in their entirety on the High School Football Network app. As we continue to toggle, though, through in and out, we want to show you bits and pieces of these big three games, but also we have Jackson Academy and Hartfield. We're also going to show you Warren Central and Columbus as well, as those two teams go back and forth. And we'll have some other games as we get along through there as well. But these are some of the big-time games tonight. Jackson Academy and Hartfield is a game we're going to send you to in just a few moments, as those games that we've been looking at and watching so far have entered into a state where they're going into some commercial break right now. But some early action around the state of Mississippi, these big three ball games. We'll send you to Madison Central and Pearl right now.
Jags, it'll be third down and about 2.
Well, we got 4 on the brand new LED marker.
They fourth down.
It is fourth down, 4th and 2, and the Jaguars are going to go for it here. Pearl wants a timeout. Timeout on the field, 5:09 to play, no score here, back in 30 seconds on the Madison Central Football Network, mcbigblue.com, Super Talk Mississippi 97.3.
So we look there and we see.
You aren't just a man or just a woman. You are athletes. You aren't just athletes. You're a team.
Often you can see the speed he has and the quicknesses. Those guys just couldn't keep up.
A gain of 7, 1st and 10 Raiders. And for Benner, that's his 8th carry for 54 yards now on the year. He's also got 8 catches, too, with a couple of touchdowns there. 5:35 to go. Dent will roll to his right. He's got Benner out there. Can he find him? And he shoots underneath, and Benner can't quite get to the pylon before he falls out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Looking for that 3rd touchdown. He comes up 1 yard shy.
Yeah, excellent catch by Benner. Ball's thrown a little bit behind. If that ball was thrown in front of Benner, Benner's going to score. But he's got to reach back behind him and make sure he reels this ball in. We'll see here on the replay as he reaches back behind him. Just make sure he maintains possession of the football and then steps out of bounds. But Raiders now got the ball 1st and 10 at the 1 yard line, inside the 1 yard line.
5:29 to play, ball at the 1. 1st and goal for the Raiders as Dent will slide the jumbo package to the left and a wide open gaping hole for Torrin Steed, who finds the end zone for the 3rd time in 3 games and his 3rd overall touchdown of the season. Torrin Steed went a couple of games without a touchdown. Now he's gone 3 straight with one. Raiders on the board first, 6-0 over Hartfield.
Just great execution by this Raider team. But you know what? It all started with his defense coming out, get 3 and outs. And then you get a big punt from your punter, Josh Lucas. It flips the field, and then you get a good punt return, and then there's execution offensively. That's great football all around.
Banged off the administration building as Land Gebhardt.
And we'll just have to see how it unstacks. 2nd time JD's turned up the football. And they'll unstack it here. And it looks like it'll stay Madison Central football as JD comes out of the huddle with it.
Maybe down when that ball came out.
It's going to be a gain of 2 yards. 2nd down and 8 now for the Jaguars from the Pearl 20-yard line. 4:12 here in the first quarter, no score.
Pearl not a big unit defensively, but a very quick unit, much like Madison Central.
Jaguars will work with 3 receivers to their left, 1 to the right. going right to left on your radio, trying to punch it in the north end zone. J.D. Hall, he gives it to Cam White, and he's going to lose a yard. He'll lose a yard back to the original line of scrimmage, so the Jaguars are going to look at 3rd and 10 now. Chewing up a bunch of clock here in the first quarter, as we have 3:40 to play with no score, and the J.D. Hall looks at a 4-down front by the Pirates. J.D. Hall wants to throw. Bootlegs out to his right. Looking, firing downfield. Got his man. The pass is caught. Yeah, they're going to say caught. Nope, they're going to say incomplete. Miles Hobson trapped the ball. We'll see if we can look at it on the Georgia Blue replay.
J.D. Hall rolled to his right. Kind of threw off his...
Nope, they're going to say incomplete. Miles Hobson trapped the ball. We'll see if we can look at it on the Georgia Blue replay.
J.D. Hall rolled to his right. Kind of threw off his back foot. Ball was a little bit low. Hobson made a good effort to go down and get that ball.
Wow, that looked like a catch, Bax. So Kale Nation is going to attempt a field goal. It'll be a 39-yard attempt from middle of the field. And we'll get Matty Gall to give us the call, our Cobb's Cleaner sideline reporter. Await the snap. As we await the snap, there it is. Hard to get it down. It wasn't a click. It's going to be short.
Kick is too low, JT.
Yeah, and Coach Hart immediately out on the field. Something he didn't like. He thinks somebody jumped off sides.
Well, that and the snap was a little bit low. Holder had a tough job getting that ball set for the kicker Nation. He had to hesitate. Timing was off just a touch, so either a low snap or
It was not a good snap. It had a hard time. I don't even think he got the seams turned around, much less get the ball up completely upright. And so Kale Nation's field goal attempt is nothing. 3:11 to go in the first quarter. No score. Pearl Pirates will have it on their own 22-yard line. Make it their own 20, I'm sorry. And Smithhart will go to work. He'll keep a tailback to his left. Work with 2 wingbacks now. Everybody in tight inside the hashes. Jaguars with a 4-down front.
So a missed field goal by the Jaguars. Pearl will get the football back. That one, no score. We'll continue to keep an eye on this one as Pearl's going to open with a speed sweep on this drive for a short gain. Good job by that Madison Central defense. We're going to get you to Vicksburg and Columbus, 2 schools under the HSFN umbrella. That game going on right now. We'll send you out there to that. 7-0 is the early score.
On the sweep was right there.
And it was a good play. Truett Bourne on the stop for the Jaguars. They gave him a good spot.
The 20-yard pass, he hurt you with his arms as well. Camorius Harris in the backfield as well has battled to the right of Joe Johnson. Harris behind Joe Johnson. First down and 10. And here's Harris on the stretch play, right side to the 25. Oh, it's blown up to the 24-yard line. I'm sorry, outside of the 30. He's brought down around the 33, so a loss of 5. Second down and 15.
Yeah, loss of 5, really trying to stretch that side of the field there on the right side, and Coach Whelan just really see if they can get someone to set that edge on the right side, and unfortunately, corners came up and made the play.
Morris Harris, the freshman, 5'6", 150. Second down, make it 14 for the Gators. Joe Johnson looking left. Here's the screen. This is the catch to the 30. Dragged down at the 27-yard line. Kyler Wilbur on the screen. And he was tackled by Isaiah Karim, the outside linebacker. So to bring up third down, he picked up the minus yards and 3 more. So 3rd and 7, Jay Thompson for the Gators. They're inside the 30 to the 28 of Columbus.
I think it is manageable with it. That was a great pickup by Tyler Wilbur out there in the flat. Not much room to work with, but he made something out of nothing and made a couple of moves and 8 yards from the first down here.
3.5 max protection for Joe Johnson. 3 receivers. Joe Johnson looks, throws, and the pass is incomplete. Receiver ran too deep, and that time he didn't even turn around that time as Joe threw it where he thought he was.
Yeah, Joe Johnson looks like he rushed that pass. He had one-on-one coverage to the inside there. If you throw that ball to the inside, that's 6 points all day. And just a misread there by Joe Johnson. Going to try to see if we can rely on the foot maybe of Greg Hayden maybe.
Yep, Greg Hayden coming out now. So you're looking at a 45-yard field goal attempt coming up here for Greg Hayden.
Yeah, I'm impressed with these kickers nowadays, kicking 45-yard field goals. We watched in pregame where
Chris Taylor was kicking 55-yard field goals there. Very impressive from high school. They run the swing and gate. Jamal Jefferson, the holder. This planted at the 35. Kick from 45. Straight up the middle. Now Jefferson gets it on the edge. Here's to the 30-yard line and tripped up and tackled. They tried the fake field goal. Jermaine Wesley, the tight end, as Jefferson on the toss to Wesley, and he comes up short on the toss as they went for it on fourth down. They come up short.
It was a great play.
Needed one more block.
Needed one more block. Is an outstanding play, and I'm not mad with the call from Coach Breeder because you got to get
So
something
Columbus was able to stop that fourth down fake by Vicksburg. We'll take you back to the game of the week now. Madison Central and Pearl as the Jaguars have moved it into Pearl territory nearing the end of the first quarter.
42-yard line. It'll bring up third down and about 2 to go. Nice play for Sherman Holmes.
Good blocking up front.
The sophomore tailback, and as you said, backs, good blocking up front. So it'll bring up third down and 2 now for the Jaguars. They're on the Pearl Pirate 42-yard line. J.D. Hall in the gun, takes the snap. He'll give it to Sherman Holmes again. The ball is out. Not going to be enough for the first down, and they're still fighting for it. And Pearl Pirates have it. That's the third time the ball's come out for Madison Central, and this time Pearl recovers.
Brought the safety.
So a big fumble there. Pearl gets a stop inside inside their own territory. Look at the replay there. It just looks like a big hit early. Calls that fumble, and Pearl gets a big turnover. Now we're going to get you back to Brandon and Northwest Rankin.
Cozy Outfitters flag is a sideline warning.
So a big pass by Brandon gets it down to the 32-yard line. Bulldogs trying to tie this thing up as we're a minute and a half away from the end of the first quarter.
The defensive line had done their job there. They hemmed the quarterback in. The defensive backs had locked on. There was nowhere to throw it. And then that blown coverage right there allows for a long gainer deep into Cougar territory.
Ball's on the 32-yard line. Drops back, hands that one off to number 6. Going to pick up about 3 yards as Span again. Second and 9. The Bulldogs spending a long time looking to the sideline. Here we go, ready to go. 2 receivers on each side. Rogers overthrows that one.
Yeah, when you overthrow your 6'5" tight end over the middle of the field, you have really overthrown him. They're talking about Javaris Span. He's the running back that has the most yards rushing. He has 30 carries, 191 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. No one else really has any major yardage running the football. They've been to this point in the season, played a lot of really tough teams, but predominantly a passing team.
And they got the 4 receivers set up again. A pass off to number 6 once again. That's completed and finally brought down.
Again, terrible tackling at the 26-yard line. Again, at the 23-yard line, at the 20-yard line. It's just a job. You got to do your job. You got to make the tackle there. He's stumbling all over the place, trying to go to the ground, but he easily picks up the first down as he steps through 3 tackles.
Now into the red zone on the 16, 15 is where they'll put this one. Rogers hands it off and going to pick up a couple. Span's going to pick up 3 on that one. Or Parks brings him down. Be 2nd and 7. All right, and with that, the end of the first quarter, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on Cougar Broadcasting.
2 receivers left, 1 right. Kelly will stay in the pistol behind Smithhart. Smithhart feeds it to Kelly again, this time about the same thing, about 2 yards, down to the 31-yard line. And this will bring up third down and about 7 to go. Line of scrimmage will be the Madison Central 31.
Madison Central on a 3-man defensive front. 4 linebackers in there behind them.
It's going to be a Grace Crossing first down here for the Jag defense. Smithhart keeps Kelly in the backfield behind him. Johnny Winston in the backfield with him. Puts a man in motion. Smithhart wants to throw. Fakes the pitch. Smithhart keeps Kelly in the backfield behind him. Johnny Winston in the backfield with him. Puts a man in motion.
Here and trying to tie this game up. Man in motion, drops back. Little screen pass back behind him, and nothing here. Cougars able to catch that one. We also have a Cozy Outfitters flag down.
Threw that a little bit behind the line of scrimmage, and the Cougars covered that well. They had guys out in front. There was no way he was going to turn that corner. Let's see what the call. It's going to call holding against the Brandon Bulldogs.
I'll knock a little bit of the momentum away. Let's see how they can recover from that. It gives them a chance to push them past the back out of the red zone.
Pirates will turn it over on downs.
Smithhart flipped it out in the flat to his safety man. Nobody open downfield. So Madison Central, a nice defensive effort.
Now they walked it off. Now he's going back to another spot. Looks like he's going to try to walk it off one more time.
All right, decision will be made. It'll be starting on the 22. Second and 17, 2 receivers set up. Number 11 is in motion. Rogers drops back, finds an open man right there to his left. Or being brought down, looks like number 22, Justin Johnson with a tackle.
Johnson had that spot in the zone coverage, dropped out there on the receiver and made a good tackle.
Picked up about 10 yards on a play. It's going to be 3rd and 7. Bulldogs again with the setup. 3 receivers off, 1 now in motion. Off to the far side. Coming up 2 on each. Rogers. Oh, whistle blows. Right as Antonio Washington was right deep in territory.
Looked to me like the Cougars were offsides.
So the penalty is going to push him back 5, push him forward 5, whichever one you're going to go with, and that's going to put him at 3rd and 2. This is about where they were.
Turn it over again.
Before the fumble.
Second turnover of the ball game, and that was an interception. As J.D. Hull, we've got a flag down.
Hands that one off to Span, and not much. Still going to get the first down. Let's see where they marked this. It looked like he even made enough for the first down.
I believe he did. It's right at the 5-yard line, so that'll be 1st and goal.
And he's going to hand that one off to him again. Span is going to be close. And it's a touchdown for the Bulldogs. Runs that one in. Moves off to his right, then runs straight on into the end zone right there at the edge. And the Bulldogs make it a 7-6 game, waiting for the point after.
Just a little toss pitch out to the right side. The offensive line just sealed that corner, so he was able to cut back, get into the end zone. Looked like he was going to come down.
9-yard line after the interception return.
Well, the penalty flags have absolutely killed Madison Central here in this first half. And now 2 turnovers haven't helped. You don't want to give this team anything, and that's all the Jaguars have done. That's all they've done here. Steven Alexander will be the tailback now for the Pearl Pirates. Smith Hart will work with 2 receivers to each side, and they've got it first and goal from the 9-yard line in Madison Central territory. Pearl trying to get on the board first here. 2 turnovers. Madison Central's giving them both.
So Brandon able to cash in, ties the thing up at 7 with Northwest Rankin. Now we go to Pearl and Madison Central. Pearl got that interception that we showed you. They are knocking on the door. They've got it first and goal. After the penalty there, we'll have it inside the 5-yard line as the Pirates trying to strike first in what is the game of the week in the state of Mississippi. 1 versus 4 will take you to Madison.
They want to go to Smith. Nope, it's a quick pass, end around on the right side, and hit hard and headed into the end zone was Jalen Stovall, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Pearl Pirates. Well, let's take a look at that one again. I mean, he was rocked right at the line of scrimmage. They faked it to Smith Hart, pitched it, and then coming around, and Cam White delivered a blow, and he got it to break the plane, and the Pearl Pirates will get on the board first at the 8:34 mark here in the second half.
You look at the replay, it looks like that knee was down before he went in the end zone, but it's probably a moot point. It'd have been second and goal inside the 1-yard line.
Kyle Morgino will do the point after touchdown here as the Pearl Pirates get on the board first, 6-0. And Jaguars get pressure, and now a flag down.
They're roughing the kicker, I imagine.
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of talking going on out here right now. We'll take a look at that one, too. I don't know. We should have started keeping – I can't even count them on both hands how many penalties have been thrown against the Jaguars now.
Extra point is good. Roughing the kicker against Madison Central. The assist on the kickoff.
What an unbelievable turn of events here. Well, the Jaguars find themselves down 7-0 now with the 8:34 mark, caused by 2 turnovers and about 10 or 11 penalties. Unbelievable. We'll give you some stats at the halftime as the Pearl Pirates get on the board first here at the 8:34 mark in the C-Spire game of the week. I don't think Pearl has had a flag thrown against them yet, have they?
I think maybe one, JT. Madison Central offensively just has not been able to put anything together. Picked up a couple successive first downs in the first quarter, but a couple of fumbles, a host of penalties.
Raiders, Mason's 3rd TD reception on the season, Kincaid's 5th passing TD of the year, and the Raiders answer the Hartfield score.
Just perfect execution there. You know, we're starting to see this offense settle in, specifically Kincaid. You know, we talked about last week, he had a little bit of some misses with his arm, but tonight he is not showing that at all and throws an absolutely perfect ball there to Mason in the back of the end zone for the big score. And he had some great throws to Mason there on that drive as well. He's showing he's settling in this starting role.
Extra point is up and good by Gebhardt, and the Raiders lead 21-6 against the Hartfield Hawks. Dent, little shoulder fake. E.J. Mason separates, tiptoes in the end zone to secure the touchdown. And how does the quarterback feel about this one? He likes it. Raiders 21, Hawks 6. Second quarter action on the Raider Network.
JD was shaken up on that last series. I know he got hit pretty hard. Holiday, the sophomore quarterback, works with 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Holiday will work from the gun, takes the snap. He wants to give it to Cedric Beal. And Cedric Beal, not much, trying to find the corner on the left side, gets about a half yard. The Pearl Pirate defense is stingy on the run. Second down and 9.
And overthrows it. We've got 2 flags down.
That's going to be pass interference on number 2. I believe it's Antonio Washington out there. You can see from here he was tugging on his jersey because he was beaten.
Now the Cozy Outfitters, that was 2 flags thrown right at Washington. That's going to move him up to the 35. Again, into Cougar territory.
And that's the first time that Brandon has really tried to throw the football deep. And you kind of felt like after the big turnover, they may try to take one deep, and they did right there.
You got 2 receivers set up off to the far side and a handoff. Nothing there.
57, Monty Williams. First to make contact. Lost about a half yard on the play.
All right, now we got a couple of receivers here to the near side. Looked like he stepped off. Everybody's looking around, looking to see if they're going to call offsides.
Well, he didn't get in the neutral zone. Now
they're going to go on ahead with a timeout here. With the timeout, we'll take a one as well, and we'll be right back on Cougar Broadcasting.
Madison Central in minus territory if they're on 35.
So it'll be first down and 5 for Madison Central as Baxter said on their own 35. 2 receivers split wide to the right, 1 to the left. Low snap. Holiday gives it Cedric Bill off the corner. Cedric Bill with a stutter step, and he's very close to a first down at the 40-yard line.
Bill had a lineman out in front of him, had to slow down and stutter step. He had enough momentum, looked like, to get that first down, but he didn't get a nice pickup. Need less than a yard for the first.
Second down and short here for the Jaguars. Ball on their own 39-yard line. 6:37 to play. Pearl leading 7-0.
This one continues to be back and forth. Pearl leading right now 7-0. We'll get you back here in just a moment. We want to take you right now. Columbus and Vicksburg, a couple of winless teams on the year trying to get a big win. Columbus right now leads at 17-0 as Vicksburg with the football at the 35-yard line. We'll check in with this one.
First half, 17-0, Columbus. Joe Johnson back to pass, flushed out to his left, being chased. Just throws it away, got outside of the pocket, and just got rid of it to avoid the sack.
Yeah, I'm noticing something. You got about 6 Columbus Falcons chasing Joe to the left side of the field, and you got 5 of the offensive linemen on the right side of the field. That's the problem with that. Offensive line is going to have to give more protection and move with the play. If Joe Johnson is moving right, you got to move with the play. What if he wants to cut back? You can make some blocks, but just stand on the opposite side of the field where your quarterback runs for his life.
Alec Bailey to the right of Joe Johnson. The Gators are down 17-0, and he's back to pass. Looks, going to lob it high down the field, and it's incomplete. Sailed it over the head of Wilbur.
There's been some miscommunications with Joe and Wilbur all night, and Joe's not been able to make that connection. He was looking at Tyler Wilbur all the way there, and Tyler Wilbur just ran a totally different route. And Joe's fussing at one of his Riley there now going off the field.
I think he's looking at Wilbur as well, and you don't see Joe Johnson show a lot of emotion, but obviously frustrated. It's a frustrating first half for the Gators with 9:08 left here in this first half. The Gators are down 17-0. Nothing has gone right, even though they've moved the football somewhat. Greg Hayden at his 23-yard line. The Gators need to be careful here. There's just 5 on the clock.
They don't have the right personnel on the field.
Are they going to get a timeout or a delay of game?
Well, let's see which one. I don't see it in laundry yet. It looks like they got the timeout.
Yep, timeout taken by the Gators. Well, other area games, Jay Thompson, Jefferson County in action.
So 17-0, Columbus and Vicksburg. We go back to Madison as the Jaguars are inside Pearl territory, first and 10 at the 44.
That's Miles Hobson. Holiday tapes it. He gives it to Cedric Beal. A run blitz on by the Pirates, but Cedric Beal still makes his way through, and now a flag down.
Penalty flag thrown in the middle of that pile. Maybe a face mask or some infraction defensively.
Came in after the play
came
had
in
started.
late. I don't suspect holding on there. Maybe something personal foul, face mask. A big one.
Big Kincaid's penalty flag against the Pearl Pirates. That's going to give the Jaguars an extra 15 yards. Put the ball down on the Pearl Pirate 30-yard line. So it's 1st and 10 now for the Jaguars from the Pearl 30. Trailing 7-0 are the Jaguars. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Coalfield here to the near side. Hobson and Richmond to the far side. Jimmy Holiday now has Cam White in the backfield with him. 1st and 10 for Madison Central from the Pearl 30, trailing 7-0. Holiday takes the snap. Holiday wants to keep it. And the run blitz on again, and that time Tylen Knight lets Holiday go nowhere. It'll be a loss of about a half a yard.
JT, they bring him in and bring him on a run blitz.
Men to block.
Yeah, more people. 11.
And figure out some way to bounce it outside. You got Holiday in the ball game, and he can do it. Cam White will stay in at tailback. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Holiday on 2nd down and 11. Takes the snap. Holiday wants to keep it. Holiday up the middle. Fights his way down to the 26-yard line. It's still going to be a long 3rd down play here for Madison Central. Yard line in Pirate territory. 3rd down and 6 here for the Jaguars. Big down for Madison Central. Pearl stunting a yard line in Pirate territory. 3rd down and 6 here for the Jaguars. Big down for Madison Central. Pearl stunting a blitz. Stunting a linebacker blitz off the left side. Now they back off. And they want to go to Cam White, and Cam White goes nowhere.
Once again,
number 6, Tylen Knight. Nobody can get a hand on it.
Well, he's coming way out from the outside, out of his safety position.
And now 4th down for Madison Central.
Field goal from here would be some 45 to 46-yard attempt. Looks like that's what Madison Central will do. Gale Nation will check in. Ball will be in the middle of the field.
2nd time the Jaguars have gotten deep in territory of Pearl Pirates. Let's see if they can come away with something here. This is going to be
46 yards.
46 yards, yeah. Waits the snap. Good hold. Kick is on the way. And short. It'll be no good. No good, right, Maddie? Yeah, no good. So 2 missed field goals, and the Jaguars come up with nothing. The 3:07 mark.
Madison Central tries a long field goal, comes up short. Pearl still leads 7-0. We'll keep it on this. We want to get you to Simpson Academy and Cathedral. 22-0 Cougars, as Simpson is trying to get their 2nd win of the year. We'll check in with this one as they get near the end of the 2nd quarter.
Right there. Kaufman broke on it quick, almost made the pick. 2nd down, 10, Cathedral.
10 Green Wave from the 31-yard line.
One thing we haven't got so far defensively tonight is a sack. About time the Cougars get one of those. We've had a pick, and they've done some nice things defensively, no sack. And that might be it. Oh, he throws it incomplete to the outside. Quarterback's getting rid of it pretty quick, so it's pretty hard to get in there on him. Good-looking quarterback as well. He's listed 6'2", 195. Good-looking athlete for the Green Wave of Cathedral. 3rd down, 10 for Natchez. The quarterback, too, is a sophomore. Sophomore quarterback. Good-looking kid. Throwing the slant pass. Whoa, good hit out there by Ainsworth. Incomplete. And that'll be 4th down for Cathedral, and they'll have to punt. Another score from PCS. Lamar with a 15-7 lead right now on PCS. 2:34 to go in the 2nd quarter.
So Simpson leading 22-0. We'll keep an eye on this when we go to Pearl and Madison Central as the Pirates trying to move the football and get a late score before the end of the 1st half.
He'll pick up about 3 yards out to the 39-yard line.
Patterson coming all the way across the formation. Got that little flip from the quarterback. Madison Central, nice job of stringing it out.
2nd down and 7 now for the Pearl Pirates. They have a 7-0 lead and the ball on their own 39-yard line.
Jags in a 3-man defensive front. 3 linebacker set.
Smith Hart in the gun with Alexander behind him to his right. And he'll feed it to Alexander. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, and he'll get about a half a yard to the 40-yard line, and that's all.
Lawson Stockett in on the tackle that time. Off that linebacker spot, nice recognition, crashing into the inside.
Grace crossing 3rd down here for Madison Central on 3rd and 6 for the Pearl Pirates. Pearl looks to the sidelines for the play. Smith Hart with Alexander in the backfield behind him. Smith Hart fakes it, wants to throw. He's in trouble, flushed out of the pocket. Jaguars had a hand on him, and now he's just going to run out of bounds to stop the clock.
Well, he scrambled out of the pocket, scrambled to his left. No receivers downfield. He had no choice, nowhere to go with the ball. Madison Central defenders right on his tail, so a big loss on the play. The good pressure from that front defensive line of Madison Central brings Miles Hobson in, deep receiving for the Jags.
Jaguars gave up a short touchdown just after an interception deep in Central territory.
Where are the Wildcats tonight, Tim? Where are they?
8:13 left to go in the second quarter. Start released by a score of 25-0, pending the extra point. Ball will be snapped here. Put down, kick is up, and it is good. Again, 14 points coming off of turnovers here by the Cats. 2 picks, 2 touchdowns. Can't turn the ball over against a team like Starkville and a coach like Chris Jones and not expect to pay for it. So Cats, again, their own worst enemy. We've seen it all year long, and you expect them to change that here in the 4th district game of the season. But fourth non-district game of the season. But the same issues continue to plague us that started in Tupelo. We're now here in Starkville with the same problem.
Right. It's just a replica of what we're seeing, and you will hope by the 4th game of the season. Like I said, we start district play next week, Tim, and we're seeing some of the same, like you said, from the first game in Tupelo to right now, a lot of the same things.
Cedric Beal will chew up yardage in the midfield across the 32-yard line, and the clock winds with 57 seconds to play. Jaguars going to try to get in a hurry here. 2nd down and about 5 to go for Madison Central. 50 seconds on the clock. Holiday takes the snap. Holiday wants to run with it. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage as, again, Pearl stunning the linebackers in on a run blitz and shutting down Jimmy Holiday. Now it's 3rd down, and the Jaguars are probably going to wind the clock here a little bit and just try to go into the locker room with a 7-0 deficit.
Have 3 timeouts, but a long way to go.
Jimmy Holiday getting for what is probably the last play of the game. Holiday on 3rd down and 7. Holiday wants to give it to Cedric Beal, and Cedric Beal breaks it to the outside, breaks a tackle, ball, helmet comes off, and he's finally dropped at about the 36-yard line, about a yard shy of the 1st down.
Timeout on the field.
Pearl's going to call a timeout. We'll take it with them. Back in 30 seconds here. Wait a minute. Hang on. Let's see. I don't think they're going to break it. There was no timeout. And now they'll wind the clock, and that's going to take us to the half. Farm Bureau halftime show coming up. Pearl Pirates win the first half 7-0. And we'll be back in the halftime after we take a 3-minute timeout. 7-0. The Pearl Pirates win the first half. Back in 3 minutes here on the Madison Central Football Network, mcbigblue.com, Super Talk Mississippi 97.3.
Put Professional Eye Care Associates on your back-to-school to-do list.
Wrapped up, and we'll see what they marked him down at if he got back to the line of scrimmage. We'll see what that is there.
Hey, for the folks at home on that face mask, if you're wondering why did they just get 5 yards, that was an unintentional face mask, and they just tack on 5. If it's an intentional face mask, they tack on 15 yards.
So Mosley does get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 now from the 31-yard line now for the Cats. T. Adams has 4 wide receivers. He's in the shotgun. Ball is snapped. He tries to get outside. He'll go for it. Nothing there. Jailbreak on that line. 12.
But, Tim, you just look at two teams. Starkville is looking like a team that wants to win tonight. We're just like a lot of gagging around. Like, where is that fight? Where is that Wildcats that we need to see to be able to come back and try to cut into this 26-point deficit that we found ourselves in?
6:48 left to go. 3rd and 12 for the Cats. Need a big first down right here. And there will be a timeout. Coach Jones sees something he doesn't like, and we'll call a Starkville timeout. And we'll give a 30-second timeout ourselves and go back to the station on 95.1 The Beat.
You've probably heard by now that we're changing the car buying experience with salaried customer assistants instead of commissioned salespeople. The response has been unbelievable. One thing that hasn't changed, though, we'll still beat your best deal, but don't take it from me.
I chose New South Ford over Jackson and Union dealers.
I would recommend New South Ford.
All right, so we've got some of these games that are coming up towards the end of the first half. Pearl and Madison Central has been a good one so far, 7-0. The Pirates lead. A couple of scores that are kind of getting away. We've seen that Meridian-Starkville game. Starkville, a really solid team, starting to get healthy again. Meridian trying to find themselves here in 2017. Brandon Northwest Rankin is the game that 8 versus 9. It's a big one. 7-7 was that score the last time that we had you there. And some of these guys that we really want to take a look at in terms of guys that can be really talented. Reed Tyler will be a highly recruited kid for Brandon. Northwest Rankin, of course, we talked about Nick Hogan this year, but Jerry Jones and Cameron Carroll, 2 guys that have been big as well. Right now, we'll take you back to Brandon and Northwest Rankin. 7-7 is that one, just under 3 minutes to go in the first half.
The bank plus first down. Short puts a man in motion. That's Steve Baker right in front of him now. He drops back and passes. Intercepted. Flag down. Another Cozy Outfitters flag.
That's just a terrible pass. I'm pretty sure they're going to get the Cougars for holding there, but that's just a terrible pass. They're in zone coverage, and you didn't drop it over the top of the linebackers. You threw it short. That's just the easiest interception he'll probably get all year long.
Three consecutive runs where they were able to get 10 yards per. And then the interception, and that's going to put the Bulldogs offense back out on the field, starting from their own 35 with 2:25 left to go in the first half. Rogers takes the snap and makes the handoff. A loss of a yard there. Looks like Bronson, number 9.
Pearl and Madison Central at halftime now. Pearl leading that game 7-0.
Cougar defense goes back to work. We will have halftime coming up in just under 2 minutes. Coach Worrell with volleyball and Coach Reeves with cross country will be our halftime interviews. Rogers drops back, passes that one, and nothing there as he passed that one off to his left.
22, Justin Johnson, the linebacker, senior, 5'8", 182 out there, one-on-one, and did a good job of bringing him down for about a half-yard loss on the play.
And repeat that 11 yards, 3rd and 11 now. Clock continues to roll. Rogers dropping back, finds a man open right over the middle, spin, and is going to cross midfield, drop down right about the 46-yard line.
That's the big tight end, Reed Tyler, who just went right down the middle of the field, got in behind the linebackers. He got in behind Harrison Tharp, the junior, 6 feet, 182, and he made the catch and the first down.
Working quickly. Rogers makes the pass. It's completed, but back to the original line. And he's going to be pushed back, a loss of a yard.
Looked like Chance Landers on the play, who just blew up the little bubble screen, trying to throw it out to the left side as the slot receiver came back underneath trying to throw it to him and get blockers out in front, but Landers blew that up.
2nd and 11. Rogers is going to be sacked.
There's Monty Williams again. I think Monty Williams is saying, hey, guys, how about considering me for defensive player of the game? He has been all over the field here in the first half.
Big time loss. Nobody stopped him as he was able to make through and take down Rogers. I don't even think Rogers saw him. It's going to be a loss of 9, 3rd and 20. All right. That will actually end the first half. Clock runs out, and again, we've got Coach Worrell with volleyball, Coach Reeves with cross country, and the band. We'll all have that on our halftime show. We're going to take a quick break right here on Cougar Broadcasting.
I know. Mind-blowing deals as advertised.
Is the decimal point in the right place?
Let me talk to the head honcho. See if I can't get that price knocked in. We rearranged some details I don't trust you to understand, and I can do $275. But that's my rock bottom deal.
You wouldn't put up with this at a restaurant. Don't put up with it when you buy a car.
So come to Rogers Dab Chevrolet.
It's easier here.
No, he's not getting no time in that pocket. I mean, as soon as that ball snapped, you got 3 or 4 Yellow Jackets that's chasing him around. He's been running for the majority of this entire night. That offensive line got to stand some of those guys up and give your quarterback a little time to make a play.
3rd and 14 now for the Cats. T. Adams. Ball is placed down at the 16-yard line now. Ball is snapped. A little time over the middle. Throws it up top, and it is intercepted again. Intended for Kurt Martin, and miscommunication. That's the 3rd interception of the first half. I'm telling you, nothing going right now for Meridian.
Hey, Tim, I don't watch a lot of Wildcat football. This got to be probably one of the ugliest halves I have ever seen. The Wildcats play 3 interceptions down, 26-0. You know what? And Starkville has their average start field position has been on the Meridian 25-yard line. And you know what? Guess where they're at? They're on Meridian 21-yard line with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in this game, looking to tack on some more on an already 26-0 lead.
3:50 in this second quarter. In the first half, Starkville gets the ball again, gifted to him by Meridian on an interception. Ball run off the right side by Starkville. Picks up a gain of about 4 yards. We'll call it 2nd and 6 now.
Second and 6. Look like Starkville going to a power smash football, sticking a power one in.
Malik Brown hands the ball off on that right side. He's trying to get away from Jamon Adams. He does. Cuts up field, and he'll get all the way down to the 1-yard line. So that'll be a pickup of 5 yards on that play. if you turn the ball over, you give it to the team that deep they're supposed to score, and that's what Stark was doing, taking advantage of those turnovers.
Hey, that's a good football team. You know, if you're gonna gift wrap it to them, you know my thing is Tim, open up the gift.
Ball on the 1, and Meridian drives the Starkville running back to about the 5-6 yard line, so a loss of 5 there. That will bring up second and goal from the 6 yard line, and we'll see if the Cats can keep them out of the end zone going into halftime. 2:50 left to go here.
Need to keep them off the scoreboard altogether. End zone, field goal. We need a big stop. We need something good to happen for the Cats right now. Let's see if we get a turnover.
Ball snapped directly to the back, and he was hit early there by, we'll see who was in there on that tackle. That is number 2, Eli Stringfellow, bringing him down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1. Timeout by Meridian here. 3rd and goal. And we'll stay right here. 2 minutes, 31 seconds left to go in this second quarter. And again, Cats down by a score of 26-0, based off of 3 turnovers, 14 points on those turnovers. Penalties putting Starkville in position to make plays. And, we got a great defense, but you can't keep that defense out there and put them in bad position all night long.
If you want to just, break it down in a bunch and try to get an idea of what Tim just said, the Cats are down 26-0 of just absolutely poor play. I mean, they have just shot themselves in the foot, and they just absolutely do not look like a team that came to Starkville with the idea to be competitive at all.
Yeah, this is really unorthodox for Meridian tonight. 2:31 left to go. Cats will take the field again. Stark will take the field again to try and keep the Yellow Jackets out of the end zone to end the second quarter. And what you got to do right here is just kind of sort of go back in there at halftime and lick your wounds if you can get in without them getting in the end zone again. But Coach Jones is going to try and get in that end zone again. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Ball pass to the left side, and it will be a touchdown on to number 6 there. Complete. Scoring now 32-0. 2:22 left to go, and Stark will piling it on here in the first half.
I don't see, and the thing is, if we don't get ourselves together, I don't see Mr. Coach Jones over there taking his foot off the gas either. So, hey, you done found yourself in, a pickle here in Starkville, but got to fight your way out.
Ball is down, kick is up. That will take your score to 33-0 in the first half. I don't know what Meridian's biggest first half deficit is in the past 15 years, but this has to be most definitely one of the largest deficits that we have ever seen in a first half. So, again, 3 picks have led to 21 points, and that brings you to a score of 33-0.
Hey, we're calling the game from the Starkville sideline from their press box. And, you just look at the Starkville faithful. They're looking at it like, what's going on tonight? Like, this is a shocker to them. This is a shocker to them. This is a shocker to us all. So, but, yeah, that's where we stand right now with the score of 33-0 with 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Let's see, can we get something positive happen in this next 2:22? We need something positive to happen.
Okay. 2:22 ball is kicked off. More flags here now. More flags now for Meridian. On the kickoff, we'll see what the flag is for here. 33-0. I don't want to keep saying that, but that is the score. And I do want to give you the correct information. That is the correct information. 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions, 21 points on those interceptions. And that brings us where we are right now. Ball will be kicked off again. We'll place it down at the 40-yard line. Okay, so they waved the flag off.
Also, Tim, I don't think our offense has crossed the 50-yard line tonight.
I think maybe once they crossed.
I don't think so, Tim. I don't think we crossed.
Maybe not. You may be right.
I don't think we crossed the 50-yard line not once. So just poor offensive play. And when you got poor offensive play, you got to keep your defense on the field as much as our defense is on the field. We have a great defense, but that's a hill that even the best mountain climber can climb.
Ball is kicked off here. Eli Stringfellow goes back to receive it, but we'll go into the end zone. So it will be brought out to the 20-yard line, and 2 minutes left to go. We'll see what Meridian has in store here to get something going before we go into halftime.
Hey, Rome was not built in a day. So we got to say positive. Rome was not built in a day.
But it did burn down.
It did burn down. But guess what? I was one of the ones who watched the Texas A&M UCLA game. You know what I'm saying? So if you're familiar with that, UCLA was down by a whole bunch of points and came back in the second half and was able to manufacture the win. So I still got faith in these Wildcats. I will tell you this, folks, it's a tough climb out. But hey, if you bleed blue, you can't let them go right now.
Right now, you look at the 33-0 score, and you know that you've given them 21 points. You know that. That has to stop in the second half if you have any intention of making this a game for any, in the third or fourth quarter. A minute and 49 seconds now. 4 wide, 3 to the right side, and one to the left for T. Adams. He's got Rodriguez Mosley or Jaquarius Dean in the backfield. Drops the snap, picks it up, tries to go forward, will be tripped up. And just to be quite honest with you right now, looks like the starting quarterback for the Cats is just a bit rattled. Just a little bit rattled.
I will say he's rattled, but I go back to we got to put something on that offensive line. You got to give your quarterback some time to make a play. And look, the reason that ball was dropped right there because he's looking up. He is used to a defender in his face at all times. You got to be able to give him at least a couple seconds in that pocket.
A minute and 6 seconds left here to go. 4 wide for T. Adams again. Takes the snap, looking upfield. He's got the screen set up, and it'll fall incomplete. So 4th down now, and like I said, it's nothing is in sync here for the Wildcat offense. 0, nothing in sync. So we'll get ready to probably punt here. We'll see what Coach Hampton does. Looks like he won't punt.
This is risky not punting on 4th down and deep in your own side of the field. Okay, you can give the Yellow Jackets the ball back. Maybe T's going to do a little pooch kick.
4th and empty backfield. He does punt the ball.
So while those games are at halftime, you're getting a look at Meridian and Starkville as the Jackets are up 33-0 as we get towards the end of the second quarter. Welcome back into the HSFN Blue Zone. Jeremy Kennedy, Jonathan Kraft, who is our recruiting analyst for high school football and the High School Football Network. And we want to tell you about some of the guys, show you some highlights, and give you names of some guys that are going to be really big time. We've talked about in the past this class coming up for next year, 2019. We'll focus on some 2018 guys. But 2019 could be the deepest, most talented recruiting class in the history of the state of Mississippi, with right now, I believe, double-digit numbers in the top 300 according to 24/7 Sports.
That's correct.
So what about this class, just from what you've seen and with what analysts are saying, makes it so deep?
Well, the 2019 class, I mean, there's not a position that you can't fill from the state of Mississippi. And there's talent. It's not, localized talent where it's up north Mississippi or Jackson, Central area, or the coast. I mean, you've got Brandon Cunningham in Ocean Springs, who's a 2019 kid, offensive tackle. He's committed to Miami. And then you go all the way to the extreme north in Horn Lake, where you've got Nakobe Dean, the linebacker we talked about last week. It's going to probably be a 5-star kid. Also at Horn Lake, their quarterback, Ray Darius Jones. He's been offered by LSU and Ole Miss and a couple other schools. And then Louisville with Charles Moore, who right now is the highest rated player in the state of Mississippi for 2019. Actually tore his ACL in the Jamboree to start the season, so kind of disappointed we don't get to see how he progresses throughout the year. But it's top to bottom. The talent's just so deep. It's not a top-loaded class or anything like that. I mean, it's just, I would say 15 to 20 guys deep of just really good D1 prospects.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is the fact that you mentioned on this, it's not just around maybe the Jackson Metro or maybe some of the power programs. You think about South Panola in years past, put out so many Division I talent. we're talking about schools. Summerall's got some kids, and you think, when's the last time you have some of these kids from some of these areas too? And I think that's probably what is impressive. We're going to do this every single week and try to highlight some kids. Tonight we've got a couple. We've got James Williams, who's a defensive lineman from Callaway. But let's start with the other guy that you're really excited about, Dennis Jackson, out of Summerall. And a little bit of what you like about him. We'll see his huddle tape coming up as well, and what you think about him.
Yeah, well, like I said, he's a receiver from Summerall. He's 6'1", 160 pounds. Just playmaker. I mean, every time you see him play, that's all you think is playmaker. If he gets to open space, he's extremely elusive. He's got great speed. He can high point the ball well. He's actually he's moved to quarterback this year for his team. Their QB graduated last year, so they've moved him to quarterback to kind of fill the void there. So really, I mean, a team player. That's one of the big things you see. And if he gets a step on a DB, I mean, it's over. The guy is just he's unbelievable talent. He's rated as the 29th receiver in the nation right now in the 2019 class. He's got offers from tons of schools already. I mean, LSU, Ole Miss, Louisville State, and Tennessee. The sky's the limit, really. And it's somewhat disappointing that he's not going to play receiver this year. You're not going to get to see how flashy and how athletic he really is at the receiver position. But to me, that speaks volume of him willing to move from receiver to quarterback and not get the high accolades that he would have received.
Yeah, and then obviously too, we look at some of these guys, and you see the huddle tape here, and a guy down here at the bottom, and you mentioned a guy who's a real playmaker, and he's got some speed too, catches the ball at the highest point. I know that's something you're really impressed with.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can go up and high point the ball. I mean, you hear receiver coaches say that all the time. You got to go up and get the ball, and you can see right there, he stops on the dime. He's just a playmaker. I mean, his highlight film is unreal. And just think, people, that what you're watching isn't a senior in high school. This is him as a sophomore. This is a 15, 16-year-old kid.
And this is a kid, too, that reminds me almost a little bit of a guy that signed on the app, was at our Sunday last year, Dede Bowie, from Morton. But you look at him, too. You line up in the slot. The one thing that jumps out at me is the fact that the sophomore would be his size. I mean, he looks like somebody that is playing at the freshman level, at the collegiate level, but he is a sophomore and has really good size, and somebody that certainly with the speed to play on the outside, he catches a lot of bubble screens, and then he's able to just make people miss, runs around. But I would imagine his size is also a big reason why he's ranked where he is.
Exactly. I mean, what's everybody going for now is a big time receiver. You're 6'1" and 160 pounds. I mean, like I said, you look at just in-state guys that went a couple of years ago, and A.J. Brown, who's made a huge name for himself at 6'1", 220.
Right.
I mean, and this guy he's not as big, muscular-wise as A.J., but again, he's young. And the thing that impressed me a lot about him is, like you said, he plays in the slot. I mean, he can play every receiver position. He can play the X, the Y, and the slot, and play them at a high level.
Obviously, too, his offer list would suggest that. I mean, we talked about his offers. You mentioned them: LSU, Ole Miss, Louisville, Mississippi State, Tennessee, and TCU. I mean, SEC schools there: Louisville in the ACC, TCU in the Big 12, which runs a spread offense. All those offenses would be conducive. LSU's trying to change their offense, and we'll see how that moves. But you can just continue to see on that screen just how explosive he really is. And at Summerall, we kind of joked about the fact that you don't really have a lot of guys that come from there historically. But he looks like somebody that is not exactly a hidden gem. He's somebody that is on everyone's radar.
That's it. I mean, and like I said, I'm somewhat disappointed that he's not going to play receiver this year, just to see more of these highlights. But like I said, it speaks volumes for him to to be a team player and go and play the quarterback position and try to make his team better.
Do you think on the next level he could project as somebody that's in the slot primarily? I know you talked about his versatility in playing that, but are coaches maybe telling him right now slot when you get a little bit older outside, or are they telling him right now, hey, look, you can go to the outside?
Well, the circuit, where you go, is going to be a big part in that. I mean, if you go to one of these bigger programs, they may have a 4 or 5 star guy that's been there 2 or 3 years, and he's, it's his turn to play that number 1 spot. But I think, in the slot, he's going to give teams headaches because he's so fast, so shifty. He's just a handful.
Yeah, and you can see right there, certainly, from the way that he ends up handling the coverage, whether it's man coverage or zone, catches a lot of bubble screens too, and then can make some guys miss in the open field, and that's certainly something that will be huge in the next level. So that's Dennis Jackson from Summerall, a guy in the 2019 class. We'll go to a guy in the 2018 class, in James Williams, a defensive lineman from Callaway. Depending on maybe size, could be the defensive end or defensive tackle. But let's talk about him. He's going to be in that class of 2018, which, to be fair to those guys, they're not going to get as much of the attention as the 2019 class, but still a solid group, and he's a guy that I know you're really excited to see.
Yeah, they're not as – the 2018 class may not be as deep as the 2019 class, but don't get us wrong, there's still some great talent in this 2018 class. And Williams is one of those guys. 6'5", 265, 270. He's rated as the number 15 strong side defensive end in the nation right now. Like you say, the size thing could move him into a D tackle position at the next level. But great strength. He's a pure athlete. To be 6'5" and 270, he moves very well. One thing I really like about him, he's got long arms. And he does a great job of not allowing offensive linemen to really lock up on him and control him. He's able to get around offensive linemen pretty quickly, pretty easily.
Yeah, he's also a guy that plays basketball too, pretty good, got good feet. But you can see, obviously, highlight, this is against Cam Akers last year. And something you mentioned too is his athletic ability. He's got such a big frame, as you can see, but very physical at the point of attack.
Exactly. I think he's one of those guys that when you're recruiting him, you know the floor, but the ceiling you really don't know. I think the floor for him is going to be a good, come in spot starter. That's the floor. And the ceiling, he could be an all-ACC type defensive lineman.
Yeah, he's also a guy too that has been receiving a lot of big-time offers, and his size is something that we kind of talked about before we began the segment. In terms of, and maybe a little bit like Jackson, where you go as far as you play defensive end or you play defensive tackle. His 6'5" frame would suggest he could put on even a little bit more weight and carry it well, even if he does move inside. But he's got some speed on that outside. He could be a rusher and really turn into maybe a third down pass rusher.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And like you said, it kind of depends on the school and the type of defense they want to run. Well, I know we're reaching for a comparison here, but you look size-wise, he's somewhat, comparable to like a J.J. Watt, who's 6'6", 290. He plays defensive.
Right.
Well, 6'5", 270 in high school and in college, it may seem big for a defensive end when it's really not. As long as you're athletic enough and have the speed off the edge, and he's got a quick first step. So I could see him definitely playing defensive end or D tackle at the next level.
Well, you look at his offer list too. Alabama, Mississippi State are the two teams that are really on him hard and that he feels like are maybe the best places for him. And certainly, if he does go to let's take Alabama for a second, they can move him around in a bunch of different ways. And playing with that much talent could allow him to play on that edge as well in third down and maybe move on the inside. And certainly, you look at what Mississippi State will be able to do. They could move him to the inside as well, where they've got it developed a really good front seven.
Yes. Well, it's kind of like you bring up Alabama. You think a name that really jumped off the page in week 1 against Florida State was Raekwon Davis,
right,
from Meridian, who really, when he went to Alabama and you hadn't heard anything out of him, everybody kept hearing rumors, he's going to be good, he's going to be good. Well, then his time came, and he just showed out. And I could see Williams being a person similar to that.
Yeah, and obviously, too, you throw in just the fact that, with these guys, too, in 2018 and how good this class is, Williams is one of the better players in the class, and so we'll be interested to see where he goes, and certainly we'll continue to follow him as well. But a couple of guys that we spotlighted this week, Danish Jackson and James Williams from Summerall and Callaway. A look at some of the kids in high school football in Mississippi. We'll do this again every single week. Our thanks to Jonathan, our recruiting analyst, the High School Football Network. We'll get you back out to the football action in just a second as we got some big-time games. Pearl, Madison Central, Brandon, Northwest Rankin are the two games that we will focus on as we get back into football action. So hope you stay tuned. This is the High School Football Network Blue Zone.
Puts it up end over end, and that is a blast.
It's all the way through the end zone.
All right, so the Cougars are going to start on the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Coming out of the half, what do you think was the main primary conversation there from Coach Collins?
I think they need to keep running the football. I think they've had a good bit of success with that. D. Baker to the edges, Cameron Carroll right up the middle. I think that's a big staple. You got to stay with that. But Phillip Short's got to get some confidence throwing the football because you're not going to be able to run it all night long here.
Short has a man in motion. Carson Banks crosses in front of him, hands it off to Carroll. Going to run that right through the middle and pick up maybe a yard. We'll see if they give him 2. Going to run it up to 3 yards.
I think they eventually throw that deep pass again to Jarian Jones. TJ Ficklin has had him covered up pretty good all evening, been there one-on-one all night.
Short puts Baker in motion, and Baker's going to get that handoff right in front and puts a shoulder down right into the defense. It looks like number 3 that he ran into. Not going to pick up anything here, maybe a yard.
Yeah, he tried to put that foot in the ground about the 24-yard line and cut back toward the middle of the field. Looked like that foot just gave out. It was a pretty easy tackle at the 25-yard line.
I'll leave it there with a 3rd and 5. Give him a yard on the game. And now he's got a scamper off the field. There's D. Baker running to the sideline. Carroll back in. 2 receivers set up. And now we got Jarian Jones in, and he's going to run. I'm sorry, not Jamari Jones. He's going to hold that one himself and run it towards the far side.
Looks like he came up about a yard short of the first down, so the Cougars will have to punt.
Another Mississippi Legends Grill punt. Kick this one from the 29. Houston Smith stands around the 35-yard line for Brandon. Low snap. Punts up. And calling for the fair catch. That one is going to bounce right about the 29-yard line. No return, and Brandon's going to take over on the 29.
Well, up front, run straight at them. Madison Central has been able to do that here deep in their own territory. Picked up a nice first down. Get a little breathing room.
Jaguars stay underneath center with Holiday. All right, formation behind him. Going to move a man over now. Holiday will take the snap. They'll give it to Cedric Beal. And Cedric Beal going to find yardage out to the 20, to the 30. He'll be drugged down from behind. That's a horse collar tackle. Should have been a flag, and there's no call. And the Madison Central Jaguar coaching staff is absolutely livid. It was a horse collar tackle. He was drugged down from behind by the jersey. Textbook and no flag.
Madison Central out of the shadows of their own end zone, their own goal post, and punched it out to the 43-yard line, got some breathing room, A nice effort offensively for the Jags.
I don't see how they missed that call.
I don't either, JT.
First and 10, Bank Plus first down. Jaguars stay in an I formation. Everybody in tight. Cedric Beal gets the carry again, and he'll fight forward across the 45. That's going to be a gain of 2 yards now for Madison Central.
Once again, the Jags running right at the teeth of this Pearl defensive unit.
Second down and 8 now for the Jaguars. They trail 14-0 here in the Whataburger third quarter.
Someone gone away from that read option, gone to the I formation. Fullback, tailback,
Robertson, your fullback. Cedric Beal, the tailback. And they're going to give it to Cedric Beal again, and Cedric Beal leaps over the pile to the 47-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 3 yards. And it's going to bring up a long third down now for Madison Central.
Cam White will check in the ball game for Cedric Beal.
Had the opportunity to interview Cedric last week, and what an outstanding young man. He was at the Youth Leadership Conference there at the Coliseum last week and had a chance to meet that young man. Not only an excellent football player, but an excellent student and an excellent human being.
I heard that on the radio.
Absolutely. Third down and 5 to go for the Jaguars. They'll stay in an I formation. Holiday underneath center, and they go to the fullback. That's Robertson. And Robertson's going to fight forward. He's going to be maybe a yard shy of the first down. I tell you what, this has been a very physical football game, but it's going to be 2 yards shy of a first down, and Madison Central is going to have to probably punt it away here.
As a 49-yard line plus territory. Fourth down and 2. Offensive unit staying on the field. Madison Central trailing here 14-0.
Well, this is a gutsy call right here. I guess you're down 14-0. Crowd comes alive. Robertson, the fullback. And they'll take the snap. They're going to give it to Cedric Beal. First down and more to the races. 20, 10, touchdown Jaguars.
49-yard touchdown run. Cam White off the right side, short yardage play. Fourth down and 2. He breaks it for a 49-yard scamper. Madison Central gets back in this ball game in a big way on a 99-yard drive.
Cedric Beal just split the tackles.
What blocking up front?
Jaguars, I'm sorry, that was Cam White. I apologize. Cam White into the end zone. As they had slipped him in on me there, Cam White takes it to the house. And my apologies to Cam White for missing that call. I didn't see him go into the ball game.
What blocking by Jamie Upton, Ben Killens, and Luke Robertson over that right side.
Jaguars trying to get it to within a touchdown. Matty Gall with the call here.
Good kick, JT.
And our Cobbs Players reporter says it's good. The Jaguars right back in this ball game. 14-7, your new score back in 30 seconds.
He was
here
down at the 39-yard line. And this is the second series for Jamari Jones. I noticed down in front of me, Philip Short sitting on the bench on the right-hand side, just kind of all by himself there with his thoughts. Quick score update. Tylen Knight picks up a fumble by Madison Central and scores 14-0 Pearl third quarter.
A couple of receivers set up. D. Baker goes in motion. He's going to receive that one and going to pass the first down marker. Boy, he's got some legs.
He does. They had all the coverage out to the Brandon side of the field, trying to force him back toward the middle, and he cut back toward the middle, right back onto the logo, and picked up first down yardage at the 49-yard line.
Another Bank Plus first down is Jones, number 9, Jamari Jones. Gets set back, and he's got his 2 back behind him. Baker goes in motion. Carroll takes the handoff and runs. That one just barrels through for about 6-7 yards.
Yeah, Brennan Singleton came from his free safety spot to try to make a tackle there, and he just got ran over. Just asking himself what truck was that. But looks like Brandon has an injury on the play. Looks to me like it's Dakara Shoto, the linebacker.
With that, we're going to take a timeout. It appears the Simpson Orthodontics timeout. We'll be right back on Cougar Broadcasting.
Let's face it, you expect your healthcare provider to be more than just educated and compassionate. You want them to be available, a good listener, and guide you to recovery. Like Mississippi Sports Medicine, with more than just a clinic, but also an orthopedic urgent care center in Jackson, open until 7 p.m., and more than just a treatment plan, but a state-of-the-art healthplex in Madison. Any age, any sport, any injury, just come here. We've got you covered.
Lead, broke it down. J. Red Patterson.
Pearl will have it on their own 23-yard line. Pearl leads by a touchdown, 14-7. 3 turnovers by the Jaguars. 2 cost them 2 touchdowns.
Pearl scored on a defensive scoop and score, then an interception return to the 4-yard line.
Smith Hart with Winston in the pistol behind him. 2 receivers sat to the left, 1 to the right. And he wants to keep it rolling to his left. Jaguars pursuing, and they'll mug him back at the 20-yard line. The ball comes out, and they're going to say Pearl was down. They're going to say the ball was down. And coming out of there with it for the Jaguars is Jacoby Luckett. And he was just running a naked bootleg, and he was down. His knee was down. So that'll be a loss of about 3 yards back to the 20.
Well, could outrun Kenneth Indebelly and that Jaguar defense. So we got a water timeout on the field.
We'll take the timeout with them back at 30 seconds here on the Madison Central Football Network, mcbigblue.com, Super Talk Mississippi 97.3.
D. Baker comes back to the sideline. Carroll stands in the back. And going to hand it to the big man to try and get the first down, and he does it with ease. Picks up about 6 on that. Another Bank Plus first down. Again, you mentioned it a lot. You need 1, you need 2. Safe bet.
I like to hand it to him. There's no doubt about that.
They're going to put this one on 36. Jones drops back. Hands it to Carroll again, who is just motoring towards the near side. Finally brought down.
You know, it gets old tackling him for a whole football game. You can start to see right now some of those arm tackles. They're not squaring up and trying to take him on full steam. That's what that big 225-pound back will do for you now. He's going to step off the sideline, get a little bit of water, a little refreshment, and ready to get back into the game in just a little bit.
D. Baker takes his spot, stands back behind Jones, who takes the snap, fumbles it a little bit, makes a good recovery, hands it to D. Baker, who just as amazingly with these moves puts the first down and picks up more than that, puts him around the 15.
It's a wealth of riches in the backfield for the Cougars. When you got somebody like D. Baker who can give Cameron Carroll a break, but a good job by Jones to corral the snap and get it into the gut of Baker, and he takes it down for a first down.
Jones again hands it to Baker. Safe bet. Runs off to the far side looking for room towards the end zone. Towards the 10-yard line. Just outside of the end zone. And now deep inside the red zone for Jonathan Johnson. State Farm opportunity.
Some good blocking on the right side, but definitely have to call out number 10, Marquise Tenner. 5'10", 193 pounds from that H-back kind of tight end slot or spot. A nice block to spring Baker around the edge. First and goal.
6 yards to go. Hands it to Carroll. Still on his feet. All sorts of Bulldogs on top of him. Finally bringing him down.
Madison Central cuts the lead. Madison Central now down 14-7 to Pearl, third quarter.
Got a Brandon Bulldog down. All right. With an injury on the field, we'll be right back here in just a moment on Cougar Broadcasting.
Aggressive, trying to time the snap. Just didn't get it timed quite right.
We're going to make it 2nd and 8 now. The Pearl Pirates. Ball on their own 25-yard line. They lead by 7, 14-7, 5:15 to play. Tylen.
Jones hands that one to Carroll. Whistle blows and it goes the outfitter's flag down.
It's like an illegal procedure against the Cougars. That'll back them up 5.
Moving back to the 9-yard line. 2nd and 9. Jones waits the snap. There it is. Hands that one to Carroll. Carroll busts through the first part of the line and is going to put himself right about the 4 again before he's finally brought down. They're starting to seal him up as he's taking some punishment here and still making yards.
He is. He rarely goes backward when he's hit. He is always moving that pile forward, and it's just taken 3 and 4 of those red jerseys from Brandon to pull him to the ground.
Putting it 3rd and 4. 3rd down opportunity brought to you by CIA Autoplex.
It looks like they're going to take a timeout, have a little conversation.
All right, we'll take a timeout here. Simpson Orthodontics timeout. Right back on Cougar Broadcasting.
Mrs. Pat and her fine crew, headed by Big T over at Master Lou Pennzoil Grants Ferry Road, are celebrating.
Miles Hobson, deep receiving for Madison Central, will come into the contest. Ball will be on the near hash mark.
The Jaguar defense does their job on their first appearance here in the second half. Miles Hobson will stand on his own 36-yard line. As punting it away is Jake Smithhart. He stands on his own 15. He's going to get a nice kick. He's going to
push their second scoring drive across. And now we get a man in motion. Carroll drops back with the pass and throws an interception. So some trickery's not working out. 3rd interception of the game, and Brandon's man is running past midfield to the 40, 30, 20, 10, and he is going to make it to the end zone.
Yes, so they put Jarian Jones in at the quarterback position, and he handed it off and was trying to go back to the left side to catch Brandon sleeping, and Cameron Carroll didn't throw it far enough, and he allowed the Brandon man to step right in front of it and take it about 99 yards for a touchdown. Boy, what a momentum turner.
Wow.
The play was there. It was definitely there. He had the one-on-one coverage, but you got to throw that deeper toward the back pylon so that only your man can get a hold to the football.
So Brandon pulls it out with 13-7 now as they try for the point after. And the kick is good. It is 14-7 now as we'll be right back on Cougar Broadcasting.
We know you came in to just get a cleaning, but I think what you really wanted was to upgrade to a whole new set.
So we're out of ivory. Platinum or gold?
What?
I'll get the platinum ready.
We don't normally use this much Novocaine, but this will make it hurt a whole lot less.
You wouldn't put up with this at the dentist. Don't put up with it.
Quarter, Brandon coming up with a big interception and a touchdown run. 99 yards, you said?
99 yards, yes it was. Picked it off right at the 1 yard line.
Hadn't had a chance for a kickoff return yet.
He's been bombing them about 7 to 8 and even 10 yards deep into the end zone, so you would expect him to do that again here. You can just feel the air just come out of the stadium. We're kind of hanging out of the window right now, just taking a look at things, and the air just came out. Cougars about to score on the 4 yard line, and the 99-yard interception return gives Brandon the lead 14-7.
And here's the kick. Another bomb. And he does just that. Puts it into the end zone. Cougars will start on 20.
A huge play in the Brandon Northwest Rankin game as it looked as though the Cougars were about to cash in and take a 14-7 lead. Instead, on 3rd and goal, Northwest Rankin tries a halfback throwback, intercepted at the goal line and returned all the way for a touchdown, and Brandon takes a 14-7 lead. Madison Central and Pearl, that game 14-7 as well. Getting late in the 3rd quarter as we move into the 4th. These are the 2 biggest games of the week. Madison Central trying to pull off the upset as the number 4 Jaguars are hanging in there. Got a late touchdown in the 3rd quarter to make that a 14-7 game. Really interested to see how Pearl handles another really big-time game. They were able to knock off Northwest Rankin a couple of weeks ago, and now tonight trying to stay undefeated on the road in a very tough environment. So back out to Madison as the Pearl Pirates cling to a 14-7 lead as we get deep into the 3rd quarter.
Timeout, no time off the clock. 2:26 it shows.
Still 4th and 16 for Pearl on the Jaguar 33. They lead by a touchdown, 14-7. Pearl out front, and they're attempting a 4th and 16 play here. And Smithhart is going to punt it away. And the Jaguars are going to get away from it. And Pearl's going to down it at the 1-yard line. That's all right. We put a 99-yard drive together a while ago. A while back, we maybe can do it again.
Another opportunity for the Jags.
Going to down it at the 1-yard line. That's all right. We put a 99-yard drive together a while ago. A while back, we maybe can do it again.
Another opportunity for the Jags.
2:18 to go here in this Whataburger 3rd quarter. Jaguars with 4 turnovers. This ball game could be a lot worse than actually what it is. 2 of them, 2 turnovers have cost 2 touchdowns.
Scoop and score, and also an interception return to the 4-yard line, 1st and goal from the 4.
J.D. Hull and a sling on the sideline. Jimmy Holliday, the sophomore at quarterback. Jaguars are going to go with Luke Robertson and Cedric Beal with a big I formation. Line up behind them. The up back will be Lawson Stockett. A Holiday underneath center. He awaits the snap. They give it to Luckett, and Luckett is barely across the line for a yard or 2. It took some players pushing him, and they're going to say no gain.
Well, Pearl once again brought the linebackers in right between the tackles. Right at the last minute, timeout on the field. Got somebody down on the field. Looks like a Pearl Pirate down.
Yeah, Pirates down. Let's go to Maddie Gall. Let's talk to her for just a second. Maddie, our Cobbs Cleaner sideline reporter. 338,000 cans collected between these 2 teams. That's been a big part of importance for this student body for Madison Central and Pearl this week, hasn't it?
Yes, JT. Hundreds of our students brought cans to donate, many bringing well over 100, well over 200. I personally brought 275 cans, and all of the students understand that it's for a great cause, and it's very important to us.
No doubt about that, and the student section is alive. We'll check back in with you here in just a little bit. 2nd and 9 now for the Jaguars on their own 1-yard line. Holiday underneath center, long snap count. The Pirates are going to jump off sides, and the Jaguars will get 5 easy yards.
Well, they needed that. Get it out a little bit of breathing room. They out along that 7-yard line. They're in minus territory. Jags put together a 99-yard.
Cedric Beal, and Cedric Beal going to bounce it out. He'll try to find some room out to about the 10-yard line. He'll be short of the 1st down by about 2 yards.
But he's going to make it a manageable 3rd down play.
Put the ball on the 9-yard line. Jaguars need the 11, and they need a 1st down. Jaguars not giving up a score here in this 2nd half, even after a fumbled punt that set Pearl up inside the 30. Defense held, and now the Jaguars face a big possession play, 3rd and 2 from their own 9-yard line. Sophomore quarterback Jimmy Holiday underneath center. Holiday awaits the snap. He's going to give it to Cedric Beal. He's hitting the backfield. Beal fights forward, and he'll get the 1st down on 2nd effort. He was hitting the backfield, broke 2 tackles, comes out all the way to the 12-yard line for a bank plus 1st down.
Credit Cedric Beal with that effort. Getting that 1st down, as JT said. Hit in the backfield, spun and kept those feet churning. able to get to mission accomplished. With that effort, getting that first down, as JT said, hit in the backfield, spun and kept those feet churning. Able to get to mission accomplished.
Jaguars trailing 14-7, 38 seconds to go here in the third. Holiday underneath center. He will give it to Cedric Beal again. Beal pop one tackle, stays on his feet, fights his way across to the 17-yard line. And that's just nothing but effort. Nothing but effort out of Cedric Beal.
Well, Cedric Beal injured early in the year. Open date last week. Now him to get somewhat healthy. You can see it tonight.
Cam White's going to check in now.
You can see the real Cedric tonight.
6 seconds on the clock. I don't know if the Jaguars are going to run it here or not. And Pearl moves. And the clock's going to expire. That's the end of the third.
The running back is looking for the wide receiver to make a block for him, and big number 7 did it right there.
Cougars try to tie it up with the point after. That from this vantage point looks good. It is 14-14 as we begin the fourth quarter in just a moment. Right back on Cougar Broadcasting.
I'll take one of those shovels.
Oh, those shovels are lease only.
But I just want to dig a hole.
So Northwest Rankin does, in fact, come back down the field and score to tie things up. 14 apiece between the Bulldogs and the Cougars as they finish quarter number 3. Pearl clinging to a 14-7 lead, although Madison Central, having begun their drive inside the 1-yard line, has done a great job being able to line up and run the football, and they've pushed it out across the 30-yard line. So they will be driving as that fourth quarter begins. Those are the two big games around the state tonight. The other one for us, the third game, was Meridian and Starkville. Unfortunately, that one has not gone the way of the Wildcats, and it was still 33-0 Starkville at halftime. Again, you can watch all these games in their entirety on the HSFN app. Go in the iTunes store, download the app for free. You get prospects information, including a list of all the top 50 prospects in the state of Mississippi high school. Their schools of interest and video on them as
Holiday
well.
going to take the snap. He wants to give it to Cam
HSFN
White, and Cam White
as we get
will
back
move his
to the start
way
of the
to
fourth
about the
quarter.
21-yard line.
Play
It'll set up a third down and 1 here for Madison Central.
Jaguars have the football, though, and driving.
J.D. Hull, injured in the first quarter, or somewhere in the second quarter, actually. So it's 3rd and 1 now for Madison Central. Holiday underneath center. Holiday's going to give it to the first man through, the big fullback. That's Lawson Stockett, and he'll move the pile forward for a Bank Plus first down.
Well, Madison Central winning that line of scrimmage right now, offensively, pushing Pearl around. Pearl in earlier parts of the ball game on the read up. Madison Central winning that line of scrimmage right now, offensively, pushing Pearl around. Pearl in earlier parts of the ball game on the read option plays was able to bring run blitzes, confuse the Jags, but really just bringing more than the Jags could block.
1st and 10 for Madison Central on their own 25, trailing by 7. Jaguars going to get back in the shotgun now. Cam White to the left of Holiday. Holiday going to give it to Cam White. Cam White up the middle for about an 8-yard plunge to about the 32-yard line.
Once again over that right side behind Jamie Upton and Ben Killens. Pearl in a 4-man defensive front still.
2nd and 3. As Madison Central winning the line of scrimmage now here in this fourth quarter. Trailing 14-7. Have it 2nd and 3 on their own 32. Started on their own 1-yard line. And they're going to feed Cam White again. And Cam White very slowly fires across the 35-yard line to the 36 for another Bank Plus first down. I think someone had him by the ankle for a second. He couldn't get away, finally slipped out of it, and then was just kind of able to leap forward for the first down. We'll take another 99-yard drive, wear this defense down.
Yep.
Cam White in the tailback position behind Holiday to his left. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Holiday, and the ball's out. The Jaguars turned it over again. Pearl is on it again. The 5th turnover of the night.
On the exchange from Holiday to his running back Cam White. Ball comes out.
I think Jimmy wanted to keep it. He saw the read option. The ball comes out, and now Pearl with their second fumble recovery here in this second half. And now in business on the Jaguar 32-yard line. 5 turnovers, Baxter. It's almost hard to believe you're in this ball game 14-7 with 5 turnovers. So here goes Pearl, 1st and 10 on the Jaguar 32. Smithhart with Winston in the backfield to his left. Smithhart wants to throw, pumps, fakes. Now he's flushed out of the pocket, and he's going to be hit. And they didn't hit him hard. They just let him go out of bounds.
They just pushed him out of bounds. He kind of gave up along that far sideline. So
it's going to be a loss of about 4 yards.
Yeah, Madison Central didn't press the issue. Just let him ease on out of bounds. So loss of what, about 3, JT?
Yeah, it'll be a loss of 4. So Smithhart keeps Winston in his backfield to his left. Smithhart. And throws a screen pass here to the near side. Jaguar defense is there, turns it back to the inside, and finally dropped. It'll be a loss of about a half a yard. And that was Truitt Bourne on the tackle for the Jaguar defense, and now it's 3rd down and 14.
Jags doing a nice job of staying at home. Had built a fence along the near sideline, could not get to the outside.
Grace crossing 3rd down here for the defense. 3rd and 14 for Pearl on the Jaguar 36 after the 5th turnover by Madison Central. Smithhart, an obvious passing down, is going to empty the backfield now. Jaguars only going to rush 3. Here comes a linebacker blitz. He's in trouble, and he'll be sacked back at the 46-yard line. The Jaguars are there. Number 24 comes in. That's Kenneth Endebelly. What a player he's turned out to be this year, along with Zach Causey.
Well, I tell you what, JT, downfield, nobody opened. And nobody's been open for Pearl all night. Give some credit to that defensive secondary, who's just absolutely blanketed the receivers from Pearl.
And the 5th turnover won't hurt the Jaguars, as Smithhart will have to punt it away.
Maybe we get it on at least the 2-yard line this time, rather than the 1 to start this drive.
Smithhart gets to the kick. It'll be a high driving kick, and the Jaguars are going to let it hit. And guess what? It's going to be down at the 1-yard line again. Make it the 2-yard line.
Well, that's what I said.
Pearl is winning the field position battle here. There's no doubt about it. Jaguar defense pitches a 3 and out after another turnover. 5 committed by Madison Central here in this ball game, trailing only 14-7.
JT, I don't know that Pearl's got positive yardage offensively here in the second half.
I don't think they have, because
I don't think they've only got 3 first downs in the ball game.
Jaguars pinned deep in their own territory, ball just touching the 2-yard line. Trailing 14-7 with 8:28 to play.
Amari Jones taking all the snaps at this point. It'll be a 2nd and 8. 2 receivers set up to near side as he hands that one back to Carroll again. Carroll looking for room, finds some, but not much. Was able to evade the first tackle and then couldn't get around. Looks like number 13 or the 23 that brought him down.
Boots number 12. Tyler Proctor came from his defensive back spot. And that's about the only way you're going to stop Cameron Carroll is wrap up his legs, and brought him to the ground for no gain. It's 3rd down 8 from the 40-yard line.
D. Baker coming back in along with Alvin Edney and wide receiver Amari Jones. Takes the snap, drops back to pass. That one's to D. Baker, complete over the 40, down around the 43.
Trying to swing pass out to the right side to the back. Out of the backfield, trying to get him out there one-on-one so he can break a tackle and pick up a first down, but he runs into T.J. Ficklin, and that does not make a first down. In fact, it's 4th down about the 44-yard line.
That'll be Houston Smith coming out for a Mississippi Legends Grill punt. Low snap. He hits the spiraling punt there, caught at the 22 by number 32
now
for the Bulldogs.
2 receivers spread far to the right, 1 to the left. Holiday works from the gun. Holiday takes the snap. He hands it off to Cam White. and he'll be hit immediately at the line of scrimmage, and he'll go nowhere, and the Jaguars will have to punt it away. Pearl defense stiffens deep in Jaguar territory, and they're going to have great field position here as Pazak will have to punt it out from the shadow of the goalpost.
Well, went back to the shotgun formation. That I formation with Holiday under center had worked very well for the Jags, but they chose to go to a different formation, different scheme on that set of downs. Pazak will have his heels against the back end line.
Kelly and Knight will be back deep to receive. Pazak stands at the back of the end zone. Low snap, has to come down with it. Not going to be a very productive punt. Actually, it is now. It's going to hit back to the 45-yard line, and the Jaguars are there, and they'll sling him down after he breaks out of a tackle. But it'll get line of scrimmage going to be the 48-yard line in Jaguar territory. It hit at about the 40 and then just went rolling on the ground all the way to the 50.
They wanted to call it catch and then fumble, but an incomplete pass.
Well, it was a good pass. It was right on the fingertips of the receiver, but look to me, it was well covered by the defender. That was Mingo who just dropped it. It was right on his fingertips, tried to turn up the field and take it for a first down. Got to catch the football there at about the 25-yard line.
Go with 3rd and 12. Rogers trying to find a man open, throws that one to the 45-yard line. Closest receiver was about the, he was on the other 45, so nowhere close, overthrew it. That's going to bring up another 4th down, brought to you by Tony Young Performance Gear.
It's one of those, I think Mingo was his number one receiver, and he was going to his number one receiver no matter. He dropped back, looked at him the whole time, slung it all the way down the field, but Jarian Jones is there in the coverage, but the ball is really 10 yards overthrown.
Carson Banks standing around the 42-yard line, waiting for, see if he can get a punt return here. Another Mississippi Legends Grill punt. There's the snap. Caught on the 45, and Banks is going to return it back to the 50, crossing midfield to about the 47.
Boy, the defense has just been solid. That's another solid possession right there. And the Cougars have continued to gain field position as the defense.
Official still.
Jaguars in a dogfight here with Pearl. They've been their own worst enemy, committing 5 turnovers in the ballgame. Only trailed by a touchdown.
And in the first half, a host of penalties, stymied drives, along with the turnovers. Tough combination for Madison Central to overcome.
2nd down and 9 here for the Pearl Pirates from the Jaguar 47. Pearl has not done much offensively here in this second quarter. Really hadn't done much offensively the whole game. Jaguars have given them 2 touchdowns. Smithhart from the gun. Kelly behind him. 2 receivers set to the near side. He's going to give it to Kelly, and Kelly's going to run into a wall of Jaguars. It'll be a gain of 2 yards down to the 44-yard line. So bring up 3rd down now for the Pearl Pirates. Clock rolling with 5:44 to go.
Madison Central with all 3 timeouts.
Race crossing 3rd down for the Jag defense. Can they hold again? They've been pretty spot on here in this second half. Smithhart from the gun. Takes the snap. He wants to throw. Smithhart with time. Throws deep down the field. Got a man wide open just over his hands. He had beaten the defender. And the Pearl Pirates going for the jugular. Smithhart throws it just a little too far. Or that would have been 6 points for the Pirates.
Looks like Pearl will check that punting unit into the ball game, which will bring Miles Hobson in for Madison Central. Deep receiving.
Can we get the ball anywhere outside of our 10-yard line? That would be remarkable.
Well, one thing about it, Pearl has kept Madison Central bottled up. They played field position here in the second half, particularly in the latter stages.
Now a flag. I'd like to see the over-under on the flags tonight. My goodness, have they offsides against the Jags, and now Pearl's going to rethink this thing. It's going to make it 4th down and 2.
The defensive unit for Madison Central preparing to check back in.
So 4th and 2 now for Pearl. They're going to go for it here. 5:20 to play. You convert this first down, and it gets suddenly very difficult. Smith-Hart may still punt it away. He's the punter and the quarterback. And he's lined up very deep as if that's what's going to happen. Low snap. He is going to punt it away. And the Jaguars are going to get away from it. And guess what? They're going to down it at the 1-yard line again. Unbelievable. The Pearl Pirates special teams has been lights out here today.
Well, they've had the opportunity to keep Madison Central bottled up. Smith-Hart, who's the quarterback, is also the punter. He lines up in that shotgun. He's done that about 3 times and just pushed it down the field with a forward roll. Got enough height on it for his
ball technically on the 2 backs.
On the 2-yard line. That's better than the 1, which Madison Central has started 2 drives here in the second half on the 1-yard line.
Holiday will put his I formation in behind him again.
That's what I'm talking about.
Stockett behind him. Cedric Beal, the tailback. They'll go to the fullback. That's Lawson Stockett, and he'll push the pile forward across the 7-yard line. Nice gain on first down.
Time to go old school, JT.
Nice first down there for, Luke Robertson, not Lawson Stockett. Luke Robertson gets the carry.
Jeff.
I apologize.
So Northwest Rankin scores a touchdown, makes it 21-14 over Brandon. This one getting deep into the fourth quarter. Pearl and Madison Central, same thing. 5 minutes to go. Madison Central needs to go 98 yards to tie that up as they're coming up with 4.5 minutes. We'll stick with Brandon and Northwest Rankin for a couple of plays here as the Bulldogs try and answer on this possession.
But that pass was right on the mark, and the Cougars take the lead. Now let's see what this big defense can do.
There's a drop back and a pass. Complete. Rogers hits it to number 11. Going to pick up about 4 or 5 yards here. Johnson with a tackle is going to put it on 31. Rogers will span to his left.
For some reason, they're sending off another Brandon player, so they'll get a replacement in for him. Not sure it's an equipment or uniform issue, but
so we're going to go back over to Madison Central and Pearl. Jaguars have it 4th and 1. You see the replays there.
Looks like it's touching the hash
mark. Nice tough run by Cam
Officials
White.
What a great leg tackle by Willie Brown to keep Cam White from getting that first down.
There, what the
Jaguars
marker will
are going to go for it here on 4th and inches. And they will go for it. And plunging forward is Jimmy Holiday for the first down. That's a gutsy call, but you're down by 7. It's 3:40 to go. You can't give it back to them.
When Madison Central lines up in an I formation, they'll win the line of scrimmage. Go right at Pearl. They have success, and that's exactly what they did, and that's exactly what they felt like they could do.
Jaguars went for it on 4th down on their own 13. Jimmy Holiday converts for a bank plus first down.
Madison Central winning that line of scrimmage.
Now they'll spread it out. Holiday back to the gun. Holiday takes
Madison
the snap.
Central picks
Holiday
up a critical third down.
Cam
Brandon,
White
meanwhile,
fights
with
his
a big
way,
pass
breaks 3
play
tackles
to Tyler Reed, one of the guys we talked about for the Bulldogs, a highly rated tight end for
clock
Brandon.
rolling with 3:17.
In
Jaguars
commercial, we'll stick you with
start
this
thinking
one
about this clock
until
as
that
well.
game comes back. We'll see if Brandon
Madison Central has 3
can move it down the
timeouts.
field and tie things up as Madison Central time
Cam White
continues
comes
to
up
tick
gimping
away.
off the field.
Can they make a big
Cedric
run
Beal checks
or a
back
big
in.
play to get the ball down the field? Pearl still leads it by 7.
This has been a physical football game. Holiday, he's going to keep it off the right side, cuts it back to the middle. Holiday going to be dropped at about the 27-yard line. He'll be about a yard shy of the first down marker. But the clock is not in Madison Central's favor now. 2:44 to go. Jaguars have got to get more than 3 yards at a carry. 3rd and short here for Madison Central. 2:38 to play. On their own 23, down by 7. And they'll give it to Cedric Beal, who will fight his way across for a first down. A bank plus first down out to the 28-yard line.
It was well covered by 45 J.Q. Haynes. But that's Reed Tyler again, just as we said, hanging out in the middle, and his quarterback that's kind of his safety net. He's going to that big guy just about every time right now.
Rogers drops back, throws it to 11, and he's going to drop it. Got a call incomplete.
Boy, 22. Justin Johnson is out there just trying to level a hit, but I'm thinking if he picks his head up and looks at the football, he's got an interception, and he's hanging in the end zone right now.
3rd and 7. You remember whenever the word electrifying was used earlier, it's starting to get feeling a little bit.
Yeah, you can feel it in the stands right now as we look out over the bleachers.
Rogers, double pump, finds an open man. That's a first down off to the far side. Wide open.
I believe that's Mingo over there working one-on-one against Jarian Jones, and he drove him deep and then came back to about the 35-yard line, and the quarterback had it right on his fingertips as he that's just a good route. He won there, so it picks up the first down for the Bulldogs.
Bronson stands with Rogers in the backfield. Dropping back to pass under pressure, but right over the middle, what a hit. And the ball's free. The Cougars trying to recover it. They are calling that an incomplete pass.
They are calling that an incomplete pass, and he got lit up as he about the 36, 37-yard line. He was
so Madison
really
Central
hard.
and Pearl locked into a 14-7 battle. Big third down and short coming up for the Jaguars. They got it.
Well, Baxter, you're going to have to throw the football.
You see the situation. Jaguars have got to be able to get a first down.
On the field, but you've got to throw the football
down the field. Can they do it?
Up a third down.
Let's go to Madison
Third
Central.
down and about 14 to go. Cedric Beal is staying at tailback. Trip receivers left, one to the right.
Hang on, clock stopped.
And
talking to Coach Perry, the clock stopped after the play. I was wondering what was going on. Thought somebody may have called timeout, but obviously not. I don't know how they'll resolve this problem. Coach Perry not real happy on that far sideline. Madison Central with a let's see, they're still talking, officials are, have not signaled ball ready for play. JT, Madison Central has 15 first downs in this ball game. Pearl has 3, from my recollection. Pearl does not have a first down in the second half, that I recall.
And they're leading 14-7.
Leading 14-7.
That's what turnovers do for you. That's what turnovers can do for you. You can't commit 5 turnovers against Pearl. If you get out of this game with a win, it's a miracle. But it's not over, and we're not giving up. Holiday wants to throw, unloads, looking across the middle. Tucker Richmond, and it's just off his hands.
Had a defender right in front may have tipped that ball.
Just ran a post, and he
got behind the defender.
Jimmy Holiday with a good throw, and I'm not sure if it didn't get tipped. So it's 4th and 15, and it's going to come down to this, backs. Some of the faithful starting to leave. Pearl knows Madison Central's got to throw it here on 4th and 15. They got to have 15 yards.
2:05 left in the fourth quarter.
Cam White back in the ballgame. Trip receivers left, one to the right. Holiday. He wants to throw. Holiday with time. Unloads. Looking downfield. And the pass is tipped and broken up. And the Jaguars will turn it over on downs. At the 158 mark, and that may be all it takes.
So Madison Central unable to convert in that offensive possession. A tough break there on third down. Pearl going to take over, leading 14-7 deep in Jaguar territory. A chance to run the clock out and get a huge road win to remain number 1. We move now to Northwest Rankin and Brandon, the Bulldogs, trying to move it down the field. They'll be looking at third down and 11. There's an injury timeout right now with 4 minutes, 38 seconds left. The Bulldogs have it at the 36-yard line. And while they attend to the injured player, we'll come back to Pearl and Madison Central.
Smith-Hart going to give it to Kelly, and Kelly's going to be stopped. The Jaguars will take a timeout. He'll be dropped at the line of scrimmage. Jaguars will take a Firehouse sub timeout, and we'll take it with them back in 30 seconds. here on the Madison Central Football Network. MCBigBlue.com and SuperTalk Mississippi 97.3.
My Trustmark fits my schedule. My Trustmark suits my lifestyle.
My Trustmark simplifies my life.
My Trustmark makes online and mobile banking easy. I can manage my money, pay my bills, monitor my accounts, and more.
From my laptop, tablet, or smartphone.
So while that game's in commercial, we'll come back here inside the HSFN Blue Zone studio. So glad to have you along. It's been a really good night and a big night in those two games we mentioned to start the evening. Pearl and Madison Central, Brandon and Northwest Rankin. Two games that are awfully close late. A tough break for the Jaguars on that 3rd and 15 as the pass was broken up.
1:52 to go. Pearl has it second and 10 on the Jaguar 22. Jaguars, I believe, have one timeout
remaining. We're monitoring Brandon and Northwest Rankin.
And 5 turnovers is the story of the ball game.
3rd and 11 at the Northwest Rankin 36.
Jaguars have turned it over 5 times, 2 for
action,
scores.
But we'll see this second down play.
Well, 1 for a score
as
and
the
1
Pearl
on
Pirates
set up
looking
a
to stay
4-yard touchdown
undefeated
run.
and remain number 1.
Two very evenly matched football teams, defensively especially.
Clock ticking towards 4 minutes left in the game. Watley put in a high-pressure situation. He drops back for the pass. He's going to run it himself, and wow.
Cougars were not fooled as he kind of faked everything, action going to the right, and he rolled back out to the left. Cougars not fooled at all. There were lots of black jerseys out there, and he
got pancaked.
He did. He got popped really good, and there's looks like somebody down on the field. Officials have called timeout, and it's right in front of the Cougar bench.
I'm not able to see.
Can't see. There's just too many bodies down there.
Intensity is picked up here in the last
That's about
few
it. They
minutes
have
of
not
this
given up the touchdown except for the short one here when they had 4 yards to go after the interception.
No, they have not. Held Pearl to 3 first downs.
This is too much pressure for us.
It is. I'm stressed out. Totally stressed out.
It's too much pressure for us. 14-7, Pearl leading, 1:46 to play. Pearl has it 3rd and 10 from the Jaguar 22.
Brought to you by Tony Young Performance Gear. Big play here for the Cougar defense. There's a snap and the kick. Punt. It's going to roll around the 7-yard line, and that'll be where they pick it up with 3:35 left in the game.
Looking down on the field, right?
Yeah, they'll even no matter what happens, they'll go for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
3rd down again, Smithhart, the pistol, Winston behind him. And now we've got a whistle and the flags are down. Had to be. We haven't had one in about 5 minutes. Oh, goodness. We have seen a lot of penalty flags and a lot of turnovers here tonight. This one's going to go against Pearl.
Yeah.
Kincaid's hanky, offsides or illegal procedure against the Pirates. 1:44 on the play clock, 14-7. The Pirates led this ball game from the beginning. Had the Jags down 14-0. Madison Central with a 99-yard drive and a 49-yard run from Cam White. And now another flag comes in.
Same official throwing these flags.
His arm, he's going to have to get some Ben Gay on his arm after this one's over.
Yeah. That's not a flag anymore, it's a rag. I got a couple of texts in that says they give it to the defense.
Well, I just talked about it.
There's a snap. Carroll gets it. Runs off to his right and now takes a sharp turn straight ahead and is going to pick up, looks like about 7-8 yards.
It's a good job by Jamari Jones. He milked that play clock all the way down to 3 before he snapped it. 2:44 left, clock running. Cougars leading at 21-14.
And you know that Carroll's not 100%. He is limping off the field. Hadn't been too many games where we've seen him almost seems voluntarily coming off. D. Baker comes in. 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3. Jones hands it to Baker, who's going to get enough for the first down. Move the chain some more. Going to be brought down around the 34-yard line. Baker's
okay. It'll be a 38-yard field goal attempt from the far hash mark.
And that'll be attempting it will be number 13, Morgino. And it's no good, is it, Maddie?
Wide right.
He misses it.
It'll be wide right. 14-7, 58-7, 58.7 seconds to go. The Jaguars with their best starting field position of the second half on the 20-yard line.
On the minus 20-yard line. First and 10, no timeouts.
Pearl's going to soften up. Give Madison Central anything they want underneath. Question is, can you break something? Can you get somebody in open space? You got Cam White out there. Jimmy Holiday.
Blaylock.
Running the ball. They're going to stack receivers both to each side in a line. And Holiday wants to throw. Rolls over to his left side. Fires downfield. Pass is too tall. It was intended for Josh Cofield. And it'll be incomplete. And the Jaguars will play 2nd and 10.
Deep out pattern, hopefully for a reception and get out of bounds. Ball a touch overthrown.
Well, Holiday just a sophomore. He's known more for his legs and his running ability. He can throw the football, but he's been put in an awful position here today. Staking up against this number 1 team of Pearl. They're only going to rush 3. Holiday from the gun. He rolls again to his left. Now he looks, fires, and intended
for Hobson.
For Miles Hobson, thrown a little behind him. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 10 now with 49 seconds left on the clock.
Got to think about a first down here also.
First down marker, the 30, the 20, the 10, and into the end zone for Cameron Carroll.
Oh, that was beautiful. And some great blocking on the left side. Offensive line, a super job there. And they got Cameron Carroll out on the edge, and he did his thing. I noticed that there is an injured Brandon player back
Cedric
about
Beal
the 29.
backfield. And now a penalty flag.
Madison Central illegal procedure.
Ball game right there.
Nail is in the coffin as it's a minute 26 left to go. Cannot get the number on who's down for Brandon. It just doesn't look like he's been playing at 100% since about
Snap.
half.
Pearl's coming after him. He'll roll to his right. Holiday going to throw downfield, and it's incomplete. Incomplete. I think it was intended
for Hobson, I believe.
I think so.
All the way
got
across
on the far
field.
side for us.
Had Cam White, Hobson, Hunter Blaylock out in the area.
So down to 1 play if the Jaguars want to stay alive. As it's 4th and 15 on their own 15. Holiday will have Cedric Beal in the backfield with him for protection. Trip receivers left, 1 to the right. And Holiday wants to throw. Holiday going to step up now. A little shuttle pass out to Cedric Beal, but he's only going to make it to the 35-yard line, and the Jaguars are going to turn it over on downs, and that's going to do it here tonight, as Pearl will just have to run out the clock. And that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to wind the clock, and the stands begin to empty. Baxter, you can't, you're playing the number 1 team in the state. You turn it over 5 times. You can't beat hardly any team when you turn it over 5 times, much less the Pearl Pirates.
Well, Madison Central, one of the questions I had coming in.
So Madison Central turns the ball over on downs. Looks like Pearl is going to take 1, maybe 2 knees and get out of there with a win to remain undefeated. A very tough but very solid win on the road tonight for the Pearl Pirates as they will move to 4-0 on the year with a 14-7 win. Brandon and Northwest Rankin was tight late. We just saw there, but Cameron Carroll's huge run for a touchdown to put that one away. A little less than 90 seconds remains in the Northwest Rankin Brandon game as the Cougars lead at 28-14. So both of those games garnered a lot of attention tonight in the state of Mississippi, and they certainly did not disappoint. 2 really good games, 4 good teams that will all have a big say in the playoffs as we get deeper into the football season. We'll let you finish out with Brandon and Northwest Rankin as the Cougars will try and finish that one out. Remain in the top 10. It will be the second loss for the Bulldogs this year if that takes fruition. We'll send you right back out now to Northwest Rankin.
28-14, a minute 26 left to go in the game as they lead over Brandon by 2 touchdowns. We're going to take another break and be right back on Cougar Broadcasting.
You made a promise to work, to lend a hand, to push, to build, to invest yourself, to make a difference. You made a promise, and so did we. To Mississippi, to each other. Bank Plus, it's more than a name, it's a promise.
Welcome back. Minute 26 left to go in the game. Cougars leading it, getting set up for a Shane Tapper Shelter Insurance kickoff with Gavin Gauden. Number 13 stands back deep around the 2-yard line. That's Picklin for Brandon. And a pooch kick. Kicked around the 38-yard line, fielded, caught, and not going to get very much on that return. We'll give him 3 yards. Number 19 comes in for Brandon. That's Brennan Singleton.
Now, safeties, just play deep. Nothing gets over the top. Don't get caught peeking and a guy run in behind you. Make sure that you're playing nice and deep, playing that good deep coverage. Nobody gets behind you.
Brandon. Rogers takes the snap right over the top. That's completed. Gets about 8 yards.
Guess who? Reed Tyler is tight end. It's a final out at Madison Central. Pearl beat Madison Central this evening 14-7.
2nd and 2. Clock rolling, less than a minute to go. Rogers drops back, throws it over to his right side. It's going to be enough with the run to get the first down. A flag is thrown about as high as you could possibly throw a flag. A penalty sponsor, Cozy Outfitters. It's going to be against the Cougars.
Horse collar tackle. It's going to be 15 yards marked off against the Cougars.
Trying to put it to the 23. Man, they started to play before the chain guard even got there. And ripped the ball free. Was he able to recover that?
He did. It was Will Rogers. That's the quarterback, sophomore quarterback. He went out earlier with cramps, and it's good to see that young man back in the football game.
Loss of about 4 on that play. 20 seconds to go. Rogers drops back, looking for an open man, throws it towards the end zone and out of bounds, incomplete.
It's a good thing that was thrown out of bounds because there was one receiver in 3 black jerseys over there. If that's into the field of play, probably that one's picked off.
Very well could be the final play of the game. 6 seconds to go. The Brandon defense has been on its best shape of the game here in the fourth quarter. Rogers dropping back under pressure, throws it off to the far side. That looks complete. But it also signals the end of the game.
It is the end of the game, and we'll just sit back here for just a minute and let you watch and observe all the really fun and excitement that's happening right about midfield right now.
The Cougars wrapping up a victory 28-14 with some big-time fourth-quarter performances here in this game. With the post-game show, we're going to have our players of the game announced, both on offense and defense. Also, we'll have an interview with Coach Collins on the field tonight.
Took it over the right side from 4 yards out to put Pearl up 7-0. That's with 8:34 left before the halftime. In the third quarter, Pearl once again on a 60-yard scoop and score by Tillon Knight put the Pirates up 14-0 early in the third quarter, 9:34 left. In that third quarter, Madison Central with 6:19 left put a 99-yard drive together. Madison Central starting drives in the second half, 2 from the 1-yard line, 2 from the 2-yard line. But drove it 99 yards, highlighted by a 49-yard run by Cam White on a 4th and 2 play. So that's pretty much it right there, JT. You know, a good ball game by the Madison Central defense. Had their opportunities offensively, but just kind of stymied themselves with the turnovers.
Well, special teams by Pearl was just lights out. They pinned the Jaguars back about 5 different times, all the way on their own 1-2 yard line.
Right.
And it was just too much to overcome. Now, these are unofficial, okay? Because I know Pearl provided some of these stats, but they said there was their second string guys, so they're not exactly right. Baxter, you had the Jags with 15 first downs, Pearl with 3.
Right.
They say we had 18. They said they had 1. We know that's not correct.
Well,
but it's about 15-3 is what we're thinking.
Right, and there may be a little bit of variance in there, but not much as far as Madison Central goes.
Jaguars, now, according to them, total offensive yards, 201 yards on offense, just 43 for the.
All right, and with that, as we get set up for our post-game show, we'll be right back, taking a quick break right here on Cougar Broadcasting.
So that will put a wrap on this week of high school football for the state of Mississippi. Couple of huge ball games, big wins for Pearl and for Northwest Rankin. The Pirates came in number 1. They will remain that way after a 14-7 victory over Madison Central. Northwest Rankin with a hard-fought win, 28-14 over Brandon. Game was close the entire way before Cameron Carroll broke it open late with a big run for a touchdown with 90 seconds remaining in that one. Hope you enjoyed our coverage as always. Remember, you can get the High School Football Network app for free in the iTunes store. You can get all of our stream every single week. We'll be back next week with the Blue Zone as well. You get information on the top prospects in Mississippi and where they are thinking as well. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage tonight. For our entire crew, I'm Jeremy Kennedy. This has been the High School Football Network Blue Zone. Good night. We'll see you next week.